this week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Fans Esports Arena. It is time to kick off our Summer League Rumble season. Tonight, 4 teams will be competing to claim the first championship of the Summer Series. I am your host, Artie Nerdybird Rain, and joining me to call all the action on desk is Joe Tacky Chigbrow. All right, so last week I suffered a little bit, to say the least. Well, not last week. 2 weeks ago, I suffered a little bit.
Yes, I stuck to my guns and got rewarded for it, luckily. But not without a little bit of pain, at least on both of our ends, mostly your end, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it tasted good. But with that being said, we are going to actually be seeing the Vipers and the Gators, the two teams that battled it out extensively during that series from 2 weeks ago. Once again this week, what are you hoping it has changed since we last saw them?
Well, it hasn't been too long of a break, to say the least, but hopefully what I'm expecting out of them is a lot of confidence, especially from teams that have made it so far in these tournaments over and over again. A reoccurring thing for them at this point. I just want to see a lot of confidence playing their own game, but making sure that in that confidence we're not overextending too much.
Those are some fair points. I agree with that. I also hope to see, if we do have a recap of Lions versus Vipers, a little bit of a different style coming out of both of them, considering they will have had a lot of time to VOD review, and they've already gone against each other, so it's time to shake things up a little bit. That's my one request. And for those of you that are watching and are new to our Esports Tower Rumbles within Rocket League, this is actually how Rocket League works as a whole. We can pop up that event card, I believe, here soon, momentarily. Unless production tells me I am wrong. I will give you a brief overview. It is 3v3 soccer. In our normal games, we'll be doing a best-of-5 series. Yes, it's going to be coming up. There it is. And then it is single elimination and golden goal, sudden death. And in our grand finals, it'll be best-of-7s. This week, we have a shorter team roster as well as far as our Esports Tower teams go. We have the Esports Tower Lions, the Esports Tower Vipers, and the Esports Tower Gators, and they're going to be joined by a brand new team called Arise Esports. Very excited to see what they bring to the table this evening, and let's see how they stack up against the rest of our Esports Tower teams. And also, before we get started and get into our our games here, we want to give a quick reminder to our viewers on Twitch that support your teams, celebrate their successes, be respectful to the other fans, and moderators will remove anyone who violates these chat rules. So, behave yourselves. You never know who's watching beyond just our mods. And so those are our tips going out to our viewership. However, we of course have a tradition to uphold, and that is giving tips to our players in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by esportstower.com. Those keys to the game in Rocket League are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, and play the walls better. Demo into the goal is the final key to the game, presented today from esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, so our first game of the entire summer series is going to be actually the return of the Vipers going up against the Gators. So let's kick off the Summer Rumble with a bang, so to speak, and jump in to see who comes out on top of this first game that's going to secure a spot, I do believe, in our grand final series. So we'll have to wait and see. Best of 5s. Good luck to everyone out there.
Some familiar names on both teams now, the very well-respected names all around. Darasu, High Ice, and Racer playing for the Gators, and we have Endercrafter, Zydra, and Enzo playing for the Vipers. And so far, it looks like they're kind of just feeling each other out, maybe knocking back and forth, trying to find who's going to get in control early, but ultimately, Enzo will pop it past the midline and force Darasu to make some kind of play, but is blocked by a demo.
So you pointed out the rosters. Ooh, there's a fantastic demo, possibly opening up an opportunity for Enzo to dunk this one down, and taken away by Racer, also a returning name there that we have coming out for the Gators. The Vipers, though we did see them during our grand conclusion to our spring series, this is a completely different roster, so that slow and steady methodical playstyle we saw then could be completely taken away now. It seems like that still is the trend here that's being set, but not quite as slow and steady as they're already taking multiple shots at the goal. Darasu will stop that shot. Enzo takes another one, immediately taken away by Racer.
Endercrafter pops off the wall, maybe to a teammate. Zydra is there to answer. Tries to get it across. Gets past High Ice. Oh, the shot is not quite there. Darasu will drive backwards to pop it out, but Enzo will be able to respond again. A great save by Racer will keep them alive a little longer. Endercrafter with the pass out mid, blocked by High Ice. Now Zydra has to contest, and it stays on the side of the Gators. The pressure is all on the Gators right now.
Enzo takes another shot a little bit too wide. There's a demo in front of the goal and one of the defenders. Endercrafter trying to grab this one off the wall. Darasu, though, races forward, dunks it down past Zydra. It pops into the goal, hits the crossbar, and down into the net. Darasu will be the first one to find a goal for the Esports Tower Gators. Took a little bit over, I believe that's a minute and 30 seconds. I'm very tired. My math is very bad as well. I didn't study math in college. advantage. No, I'm kidding. But that did take a while to see our first goal, so let's see if the Vipers are able to respond or if the Gators get that quintessential second goal and go up by 2.
Gators responded really well to the pressure before. We'll see what they're able to do with the pressure of their own, but Enzo is determined to get the pressure. He just lost back. Passes it downfield. Endercrafter trying to create space with Demo, so Zydra has to play back. It's over Zydra. It could be an overcommit here. Barely gets it out to the corner, and now Gators are in control.
There's another Demo, and Vipers pushing forward with ball possession. It is going to be pushed directly into 2 of the defenders in the corner. Easily regain possession there for Endercrafter, but Zydra has to come in to help out. They're going to bring the ball off the wall, center it up. A Racer touches with the nose of their car, pushing it just too far forward for the Vipers to maintain possession. Elevating at the mid, we have Enzo looking to play this back, centered up to Zydra, but Endercrafter rotates forward, pushing the ball across that midfield stripe. Enzo opening up that goal-scoring opportunity, taking out a defender. And too little too late, the response from their teammates was not there, but another shot from Zydra will be turned away by Darisu.
Enzo takes a pop off the backboard, unable to find anything, so High Ice pops it out. Zydra looks to take it back around, back pass maybe to himself or to Enzo, who ultimately doesn't make the connection, so High Ice will be able to keep pressure. Zydra is able to win the 50 though, and the pressure will convert.
Looks like we've got Darisu choosing to go for this ball in the air with no one challenging them, trying to dunk this ball down into the net. Double commit from the defenders and their own teammate. Actually will be 4 cars piled up in front of that net. Now the ball crossing that midfield stripe on the back third of the Gator side of the field. Hits into the corner. Is going to get volleyed across that midfield yet again. Endercrafter pushing it into the corner. Zydra doing it again. Racer and Zydra go for the 50-50. Neither one can find a touch on unfortunate aerial with both of them 50-50 between High Ice and Enzo. Enzo tries to maintain possession, grabs that boost, is going to pop it up over Darisu. Cannot get it around Racer though. And being pushed around by these defenders, they need some support in their teammates. They find it in Zydra. Shot on goal turned away.
Bumps and Demos playing a key part in the corners of either side of the net, and it seems like the Vipers are here to stay in the Gators' end of the field, keeping pressure for extended periods of time. We'll have to see how the Gators are able to respond and maybe find a way to get out consistently. But until then, the pressure from the Vipers looking for those bumps and demos in the corner might be just enough to eventually break Gators' defense.
Now, I could have very bad memory, which is completely valid, but we've not seen High Ice, I believe, at all, or we've seen them very few times here within the Esports Tower Rumble. As far as the Gators go, as a roster and as a whole, that's actually a younger roster in comparison to the Vipers side of players with experience within these Esports Tower Rumbles, and the coaches are actually very interested to see how their first official Rumble as a team shakes out and if they're able to stack up against the Vipers. So far, they're doing great. We're tied 1-aside with 45 seconds on the clock.
A double commit and then a bump on the Zydra will open a hole. A disastrous double commit at the midfield from the Vipers, and then a well-responded bump onto the last man will lead to an easy goal for the Gators. They'll pull ahead with less than a minute on the clock, and now the pressure is all on the Vipers. They can't keep it stuck in the Gators' end forever anymore. They have to find the back of the net quickly, and right there, Zydra is able to do it, pops it over, just kind of lobs it into a hole in the back of the net. The chink in the armor is found, and with 33 seconds left on the clock, we still have a ball game.
Off the kickoff, Enzo's going to push the ball back towards Zydra on their own side of the field. Zydra pushes it back to mid. Enzo pops it up over Racer. Looks like Enzo's looking to center it up to a teammate, but getting on that passing lane is High Ice, who's going to pop it to the midfield. Endercrafter pops it right back up. Elevation from Enzo, looking to send it to Ender. Doesn't need it anyway. Goes right in the net. Vipers now up by 14 seconds on the clock.
A high pass midfield responded to excellently by the Vipers offense. A snapping shot to the far corner will find a lead for the Vipers in the last 15 seconds. So now the Gators have to find a response of their own, and they've been able to do it, but they need it at the last second now. Darisu looking for a pass off the wall to his teammate, is unable to get a good touch. Challenged by Vipers defense, will launch it all the way downfield. That may be it. Racer barely able to keep it up. Challenged by Zydra. Enzo takes a touch and is, oh, it bounces off the corner. It's still up. Endercrafter doesn't leave it. He goes for the touch off the wall, hits it off the backboard to his teammate. Zydra's up. A double commit from Vipers, but it won't matter. It touches the ground, and that game will go in favor of the Vipers.
And as I mentioned earlier, this is a best-of-5 series, so that first game can, be a telling story of how things are going to go. Or in game number 2, it's a completely opposite story. We've seen that happen plenty of times as the other team likes to be just slow and methodical and completely analyze the gameplay of the other team. That was a very close match, though, so I feel like this can go either way. Still, we're going to consider this a best-of-5 until we get one aside, and then it's going to be a best-of-3 type of deal. We'll have to wait and see, though, how this next 5 minutes shakes out.
Very close first game. The Gators and the Vipers both grappling for control of the game since the very beginning. And we'll have to see if any kind of adjustments are made. Are the Gators able to find a way out of their end? Are the Vipers able to hold down the offense that they create long enough to actually find the back of the net consistently? Or is there going to have to be some serious changes to the play style overall?
There's a great breakaway play coming here from Enzo, but High Ice goes for the 50-50, manages to send the ball to the mid. Endercrafter immediately volleys back towards the net. We do have it back in midfield. High Ice pushing forward. Zydra, though, because of High Ice missing that ball, pushes it towards the net, takes a shot. Taken away by Darisu, though. Darisu loses possession. Shot on goal. Turned away by Racer. Darisu comes in to help Racer out. Racer pulling it over Enzo. Tries to play it off the wall to a teammate, but Enzo immediately gets to that passing lane. He's going to look to pop it up over High Ice. Carries it into the net. Vipers find goal number 1 in 46 seconds.
A solid solo play to get past one, and then the flick past 2 more, and that will put the Vipers ahead in the first minute of the game. Now, the pressure is on the Gators to respond. They're already looking for that offensive pressure, but it's thwarted by Endercrafter, who's now looking for a big clear of his own. As unlike contact, so the 50-50 will go up, and Enzo will be able to respond first.
Got all 3 members of the Vipers here right by the Gators net. Can they turn this into a goal-scoring opportunity fast, or is it going to be another situation where it's a lot of just taking shots, but none of them finding a connection? Ball has been cleared. High Ice on the back third of the Viper side of the field. Pulls it up in front of the goal. Racer goes for the secondary touch. Darisu goes for the tertiary. No one can find the net. Lots of defense coming out from the Vipers. Enzo crossing the midfield stripe. Looking to play it off the back wall to a teammate. Follow-up from Zydra. Thwarted by the attempts of Darisu. Darisu goes for the 50-50 against Ender, who pops it up at the midfield. Zydra looking to dunk this one down.
Endercrafter gets it off the sidewalls, looking for a pass out to a teammate, and is able to beat Darisu. The opportunity's there, but Racer will push it out. And now, Zydra finds an open net, however, a chink in the armor, and a great shot. If you put that literally anywhere else, High Ice might have been able to get to it, and the Vipers will extend their lead once more.
We still have plenty of Rocket League left in this game. Number 2 here, the Vipers are up by 1. In the series, up by 2 in game number 2. 3 minutes on the clock. Can they maintain that lead? We have a great clear coming out from the Gators. Darisu dunking it down over Zydra. Can they dunk it past the Endercrafter? It's going to hit the back wall. High Ice will take a shot. Zydra will find the clear, bringing it up on the wall. 50-50 between them and Racer forces the ball to be sent over to Endercrafter, who volleys it forward to Zydra in mid-flight, playing it off the back wall, but the momentum of the ball is just not quite right. Cannot find that centering opportunity, so Enzo goes for the secondary setup. Zydra pushing forward at the mid, has the ball dunked over them by High Ice.
Zydra falling back to get in the way of High Ice is unable to do so. It's across the net, barely saved by Vipers defense. And now the Gators are having to rush back. They weren't prepared. Racer is trying to find a play, ends up hitting it across his own net. Oh, the smoke screen will prevent us from seeing anything more. Now Endercrafter has to be in the way.
Endercrafter has the ball here in the corner, but Racer's going to look to push it past them. They have very little pressure. Enzo comes in, takes them out. Endercrafter takes a shot on goal. A little bit too slow, so it is easily saved by High Ice. And Darisu, ball still here on the back third. The Gator side of the field. Zydra dunking it down. High Ice looking to find the clear, but it hits their car awkwardly. Darisu rotates back, pops the ball up. Unfortunately, a couple of awkward whiffs there from the Gators, immediately capitalized on by the Vipers.
Darisu unable to get full control of the ball and just leaves it for the Vipers offense to run away with. And the Vipers running away with the game as a whole as well. Endercrafter has to play defense for a little bit. This could be an opportunity for the Gators. Almost found the back of the net, but Enzo's going to find the 50 in the way. Racer has to push it off the wall and is unable to do anything more, so Zydra bangs upfield to Enzo.
Enzo plays it off the back wall. Angle's not quite right for Zydra, though, so that's a slight reset for the Vipers. It's Darisu here at the mid. 50-50 between them and Enzo. Enzo gets a nose on it, but can't get the rest of his car to make contact. Zydra whiffs the save, and the favor has been returned by the Gators from the previous goal the Vipers scored. It happens. Everybody makes mistakes.
A most unfortunate ghost touch will allow the Gators to find their first goal for this game, but they still have quite the hill to climb. The Vipers have cut their work out for them, and Endercrafter is unwilling to give up any more kind of lead as he passes out mid for Zydra, is just barely unable to find the back of the net. Darisu can convert now.
Hitting that crossbar is an unfortunate situation to run into, but it happens to everybody. Darisu shot on goal, turned away by Enzo, who popped it up, sending it to Endercrafter. High Ice looking to come in and get a demo is the Endercrafter, though, sees it coming, lays it perfectly. Enzo takes the shot. Zydra's there for the follow-up. Never mind, it's going to be Endercrafter dunking it down here in the corner. Zydra corralling it away from Racer. 2 members committing onto them allows Enzo to come in and beam the ball into the back of the net. That's goal number 4 for the Vipers.
Pass out mid will extend the lead once more to a 3-0 against the Gators. With 1 minute left on the clock, it's certainly possible, but unlikely to say the least, as Zydra And Endercrafter and Enzo are just refusing to give up any kind of pressure that they create and convert it no matter what.
Endercrafter goes for the challenge against Racer, who carries the ball up and over the Viper's net. Darisu looking to play it off the back wall. Again, it's going to go up and over just because of that awkward angle. Not being able to find the right one to center it up to a teammate allows it to get cleared. We have a great breakaway from Enzo here. Shot on goal, hits the crossbar, cleared away by Racer. And Endercrafter goes to dunk it down to Zydra, who pops it up to Enzo, who's going to look to get it in the net. Taken away by Darisu in mid-flight.
Endercrafter looks for a shot, is able to find it. Racer will block it and push it away. High Ice now has the next touch. Takes his time a little bit, has one on him, and doesn't get a great touch. So Enzo will just take the shot to the backboard. Darisu is in the way. A demo out. This could be an opportunity, but Endercrafter goes for the backboard again. No one in net. Zydra can take the shot. Racer comes in at the last moment to make the save, and now Enzo has to pass to his teammate or slow the play down. Looks for the flip reset mid. Zydra takes the shot. It's on and in. Racer barely unable to get a good touch. An excellent pass out mid will put the Vipers up 4 goals by the end of that game.
Yes, and with that, the Vipers now put themselves at match point. This is a best-of-5 series. There's always the opportunity for a reverse sweep, as some of the most famous Boise State players would say. It's not over until that clock hits 0-0, and it is a loss or defeat across that screen. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. Gators still have the opportunity to pull this one back in their favor, but what do you think they need to do in order to get that momentum swing to go, like the shift to happen here?
I think out of the 5 goals we scored that game, at least 3 of them, maybe 4 of them were passing plays. There wasn't a whole lot of horseplay that actually ended up working out for the Vipers. It was there to kind of just create a threat. I think what you have to be more aware of is making sure you're using that first man in the rotation to cut down those passes before they happen. Make sure there's someone in the way, because a lot of the time, by the time that pass hits the striker, there's no one in the way and there's no one pressuring where they put that shot, just like that last goal.
The one thing I was also noticing is not being prepared for those breakaway plays when someone would get it clear, just unfortunately being a little bit too far forward and allowing that cherry picking to happen. You got to keep an eye out for it and make sure you are at least keeping tabs on that third player if you are the one pushed up at the midfield. We'll have to wait and see how this 1 minute of conversation time between themselves helped out the Gators. Hopefully it did, and we get to see a reverse sweep in their favor. Of course, you know I love underdog stories and I love the full 5-game series. However, I'm pretty sure it's not what the Vipers want to see, as we are already into our first 10 seconds here of game number 3.
Enzo looking for a pass on it, is thwarted by Racer. Racer looks to play downfield now. Maybe beat out. Zydra is unable to get that good of a touch, and then instead puts it to the backboard. And now Darisu passes it out to the other side. No pressure.
Zydra goes for the 50-50 between them and High Ice. Neither one get a good touch, but Darisu comes in, takes a shot. It is almost perfect. It is going to be saved by Enzo, though. High Ice has a double commit coming out from Zydra as well as Enzo. Zydra dunks the ball down at the mid. 50-50 between Endercrafter, and I think that was Darius, who results in Enzo on the other side of the field with possession. High Ice goes for the clear, but instead it just gets sent to the other side of their own side of the field. Darius, who finds the volley to the back corner onto the Vipers' back third of the field. Enzo, though, automatically gets possession, plays it around High Ice, and dunks it down at the mid.
Zydra takes the pass out, looking for another one. Is unable to get it. Racer is unable to make contact either, though, so it'll ricochet off of 3 different players and end up going mid. Enzo will keep the pressure on a little bit longer, and High Ice will force it out. Tries to look for a play around 1, maybe pass out mid to Racer. Racer is unable to make contact before Enzo. I'm
seeing a lot of awkward double commits coming out from the Vipers, which is not what we saw earlier. And it's very interesting considering how much cleaner their previous 2 games were. Maybe something, maybe the pressure's mounting. Maybe they're feeling a little too free-spirited right now with their 2-game lead. Never something you want to let go to your head. You got to make sure you keep your core mechanics here in Rocket League. As High Ice goes for a shot on goal, Enzo's going to pop it up and barely make the save. Racer goes for the secondary, but there's not enough momentum between them and High Ice, so awkward double commit happens. All 3 defenders very bunched up, though, easy to capitalize on. Zydra, though, finds the clear, sending the ball to the mid.
Enzo will be next to follow it up. Ends up leaving it for Racer, who gets a pass by him. Zydra bumps his own teammate into the end. Endercrafter is the last man standing here. Racer unluckily able to make a touch out of it happen, though. Darisu now has to keep pressure on his own as High Ice rotates through. Darisu with the pass off the corner is unable to get that great of a touch to High Ice. Endercrafter just barely whiffs it, so High Ice will get another pressure, but Zydra does keep it out a little bit longer.
Racer takes a shot on goal. Enzo pops it up. Darisu goes for the secondary shot. Zydra kind of allowing themselves to be flat-tired there in front of the goal. Not something we typically see. All 3 members of the Vipers here bunched up in the corner. Enzo pushing forward now, looking for an opportunity. Plays it around 1, drops it into the net perfectly. This is in a moment where I wish I had like a giant red button where I could just hit it and see the replay of that, because that was beautiful.
A fantastic flip reset coming almost all the way from the ceiling will find the first goal of this game in favor of the Vipers. And now the Vipers are tasked with defending their lead from what has been a pretty pressuring Gators offense so far this game, wouldn't you say?
Definitely agree. Gators have not given up. They've got 2 minutes and 12 seconds. The ball, I feel like, has spent more time on the Viper side of the field than the Gators this series, well, in this game so far, in comparison to what we've seen the earlier games in this series. Darasu, High Ice will both collide with one another. And one of the things the Gators have actually been working on with their coaches is a lot of communications. We can see that's working out so far with how well they've been able to fend off the Vipers, but it's breaking down a little bit as we're taking down past that second half of game number 3 here. They can't let those nerves get to them. They have to keep those comm lines open and clean.
Pass off the backboard. Enzo almost looking for a double touch of his own, but Racer will pop it way out. An opportunity, maybe an overextension, but just that's a really hard shot to take. Can't blame him there. Racer looks for the 50-50. He's unable to do anything more, and now has to circle back around to defend Endercrafter's touch.
Zydra tries to put it on High Ice. High Ice gets their tail of their car on it. Darasu comes in, just barely gets the corner of the front of their car. Enzo sending it into the corner. Darasu backpedals, tries to get it up in the air to Racer. Racer looks to play it off the back wall. The High Ice pushed too far forward, as did Darasu, so they're now rotating back as quickly as possible. Darasu tries to push it forward. Enzo, though, blocks it 50-50 between them and Racer. Zydra comes in to help out. Ball still alive here on the back third of the Gator side of the field. Hits that back wall. Dunked down to Enzo from Racer, who tried to do a redirect, but still gets the ball away from Enzo, sending it to the back third of the Viper side of the field.
Zydra playing defense, barely gets away with a whiff from the Gators offense, and now the breakaway will happen. Darasu keeping pressure, but it passes it itself out mid, so Racer will bang it downfield in a panic. Enzo gets control of the ball for a little longer, plays it off the corner, is unable to do anything more. The 50-50 will go past 3 different players, and now High Ice has to look for a pass out mid.
Enzo dunking the ball down to Zydra. Zydra, though, unfortunate with making Enzo have to actually make an awkward rotation, decide to reset for themselves. Endercrafter comes in, goes to a challenge against High Ice, who just volleys the ball to the back third of the Viper side of the field, not really making a committed play, just kind of sending the ball over there to get it out of their side of the court. Not something you want to be doing. Talked about it a few weeks ago. You need to be doing these clears with a purpose and with a plan. Otherwise, the odds of it working out not very high as we tick down to the last 8 seconds here. Racer's going for the Hail Mary play. Racer finds it off their own return from hitting that crossbar. They were the facilitator, the playmaker, the shot, the save, and the return. Let's see if they can do that again as we are now tied 1-aside, 3 seconds on the clock.
Looking to our right, we can see the accolades for Racer this game. He has been a serious offensive proponent for the Gators so far and keeping their series alive, but it will all come down to this golden goal moment. No more opportunities to just create pressure. You have to find the back of the net. Otherwise, it's all for naught. Enzo looking for the first opportunity here, blocked by Darasu. Endercrafter gets the touch off the sidewall and will go mid. Racer instead pops it out and is unable to do anything more, so Enzo will take the shot. Zydra looks for the bump. Darasu will hit it out, and now Endercrafter has to keep the pressure. Is unable to do anything, so it'll pop out to Enzo, who will then pass it up to Endercrafter.
I mentioned it earlier, we are now in golden goal territory as the rules of our Rocket League Rumble stated at the beginning of our broadcast. So whomever finds that first goal walks away with the victory here. Can the Gators start their reverse sweep and make that pendulum momentum go in their favor? Because Vipers right now just need 1 goal, and that puts them into our grand finals. Zydra's shot turned away, but Endercrafter comes in to clutch it out 41 seconds into overtime. Vipers will win 2-1 against the Gators in our best of 5 series in our first game of our Summer Rumble.
Well, an excellent start to this tournament as a whole for the Vipers, kind of continuing to show why they belong here and why they were in the grand finals 2 weeks ago. Really solid team all around, and I'm really excited to see what they have next for us.
Yes, congratulations, Vipers. You guys are going to be moving on into our Grand Championship. And also, we do have a new team that I believe is going to be making an appearance in our next game. However, that game is not going to happen just yet. So, for now, bask in your fantastic first game. It was very well done. Some things still need to be cleaned up at the end of the day. Not perfect, but, you know, that's just how it is. It's Rocket League. We're only human beings, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like we are. Everything can always be improved. And also, shout out to the Gators. You guys did a great job for being a newer fledgling team. And things will only get better as time goes on. And this is going to sound horrible. It's the summertime, so you have a little bit more time that you can commit to playing Rocket League. Not that you should. I think you can second that one, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can second that one for sure. But in terms of the Gators, you also have to remember that you held the Vipers, the grand finalist team from the last 2 weeks. Down to 1 goal. Oh, champion. You're right. Championship team.
Who made me
down
suffer?
to 1 goal in 2 of those 3 games. You guys came very close. You guys don't have a lot to sweat about. You just keep on working on it. You use all that time that Summer's offered you, as Nerdy pointed out. And I think the Gators are a serious threat to the upcoming tournaments.
Definitely. I think the coaches did a great job putting together that team. And also, if you are currently watching this and you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, get industry insights, and talk directly to industry insiders, and talk to game producers, sorry, I can't English today, then you should join the club. Esports Tower Club members get insider access with our Esports Tower Rumbles, and recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. And so the Vipers sweep the Gators, not in an easy feat, as Joe pointed out. So definitely don't walk away thinking that that was a clean victory, because the Gators had you literally by a hair. They could have turned that around. Just a couple things didn't work out in their favor. However, Vipers, for now, you get to relax for a little bit. You advance to grand finals. And before we jump into our next game, we'll take a quick break, and so we'll see you all back here in just a few minutes.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Broadcast the Esports Tower Rumble. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Vipers are are on the grand finals, but the question still stands of who will face off against them. It's time for the Lions and our new team, well, our new school team coming in, Arise Esports, to face off for that final spot. I'm still your host, Ardeen Rain, and Joe Taki Chigrao is here on desk with me. All right, so the Vipers took on the Lions and ultimately defeated them in a, pun intended, blaze of glory for me 2 weeks ago in our final championship series for the spring. What are you hoping to see differently from the Lions this week?
I don't know. I feel like
that was a big sigh.
Well, it's hard to remember 2 weeks ago exactly like what I was thinking. But if anything, I'm just hoping for a lot of clean Rocket League, because we know from how far they made it, right, that they are a really solid team. So if they play to their advantages, if they make sure they're just playing clean Rocket League, they're going to be set up for success out the door. We don't know a lot about Arise Esports. We don't know what their strengths and weaknesses are. We don't know what we're about to walk into. And probably, I'd have to guess, the Lions aren't totally in the awe on that as well. But always what I come back to is just play your own game, make sure you're playing clean Rocket League, and it'll probably work out a lot of the time.
All right, that's some pretty solid advice and some, I'll say that those are some pretty standard hopes that you can actually hope to see in a game rather than setting the bar way too high. But before we jump into this game between our brand new team of Arise Esports and the Lions, we actually want to take a quick moment to congratulate all of our Esports Tower Club members who've been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. Let that number sink in, because that's a lot of money. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we cannot be more proud and excited to see all the opportunities that these players are getting. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Hopefully we get to see you here facing off against the Broncos if you did not become a Bronco yourself. And if you change your name, let us know. We just want to be able to congratulate you on your successes and continue to watch your story as it unfolds. All right, so before we jump into Doc's keys of the game, do you have any advice for these players?
Come out swinging.
Okay.
Get early pressure.
All right. Well, that is the keys from the desk. We'll go with come out swinging, to quote you. Maybe they'll get added to Doc's keys in the future. But for now, we'll give you Doc's keys to the game presented today by Esports Tower. In Rocket League, they are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to get into that goal. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get magically great players, I can English, and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, so who will join the Vipers in our grand finals? Will it be the Lions again? Will it be a recreation of the end of our spring series, and we'll see the Vipers face off against the Lions? Or will our wild card of Arise Esports come out on top? We'll have to wait and see as we jump into this first 5-minute game of our best-of-5 series here in this second semifinal here for our Rocket League Rumble.
So, it looks like for the Lions we have 2 no-names and Gababy.
Oh, come on, guys.
Gababy is a really well-known player, very, very talented player, taking it all the way to the grand finals and being, I believe, our player of the game 2 weeks ago. And for Arise Esports, we have Avadel, Benji, and Jay Keys. Again, people we haven't seen before, but definitely have their opportunity to set the stage for what we're to expect of a team of this stature. Right off the bat, though, it looks as though Rise Esports is taking the first early pressure, not necessarily demanding a goal yet, but making sure that the Lions' defense is being properly tested before quickly being rotated through.
Now ball on the back third of the Rise Esports side of the field, popped up by Jay Keys. Rivali to the back third of the Lions side by, how are we going to settle on saying that name?
The period names?
No, Avdil.
Oh, I said Avdil, or I said Avdil, which is not right now that I read it again. Avdil, I guess. All
right, we're going to go with Avdil. If we're wrong, go ahead and give us a smack on Twitter. And now Avdil's going to go for the challenge here in the corner. Doesn't have a lot of pressure. Has to pop it over Gababy. Gababy, though, gets a hood on it. Benji goes for the clear. Doesn't have a lot of momentum, so they're forced to rotate right back towards it. Dot 1 sends it back to the back third of the Lions side of the field where Gababy is waiting. Dot 2 is now in that goal. Manages to find the clear to the midfield. Benji goes for the challenge. Unfortunately, pops it right over to Dot. Dot is going to send it right back to the midfield. Avdil is going to center it up for a teammate, but the teammate rotations are not there. Both Dots will double commit against Jay Keys, who gets a shot on goal. Gababy sending it to the corner.
It will be cleared out now as the Lions keeping pressure, trying to find their own chink in the armor here, and the pressure ultimately being kept, but only for so long as Benji has been able to keep it out mostly on his own anyway. Benji looking for the pass out mid now. Gets past one defender, gets past your baby, an opportunity here, but is unable to make the goal happen himself. The clear will have to go into the corner. Follow it up off the wall. Avdiel is unable to make complete contact, so shot is taken downfield. Another touch, probably. Nope, not quite in the way. Jababy knocks it off the backboard to his teammate, who's also unable to find the back of the net.
We've got Benji now going for the challenge against Baby. Avdiel is going to send it to Jay Keys, who's going to bring it up to the side. Dot challenges them, manages to force away possession. Dot 2 comes in, send it into the back of the net as defender elevated, expecting the ball to go up, but it went past them instead. Lions now up by 1 as we just cross into that back half area of game number 1.
Good bump will lead to the first goal of this game. So far, a pretty slow game. Not a lot of explosiveness going on necessarily. A lot of good defense being played. Gababy will take the first clear out into the corner, and Avdiel will say, nope, we're going to keep pressure a little longer. Gives a demo of his own, forcing them to play a little bit of catch-up. The Lions are able to break out with that catch-up, though, and Benji plays around 1, takes the 50-50 on the next, who loses the 50-50, goes all the way, goes the whole distance, and an explosion in the back of the net will mean that Rise Esports has tied it up at 2 minutes left in the series.
Off the kickoff, Gababy gets the better touch off of it. Jay Kiso dunking it down, can't quite get it past Dot. Both Dots here on the side at the midfield. Send the ball to the back third of Rise Esports side of the field. Now at the midfield, we got Gababy sending it to Dot, who looks to center it back up to Gababy off that back wall, but Avdiel gets in there first. Jay Keys sends it to the corner. Dot pops it up. Gababy, though, goes in. They both double commit on that ball. Dot trying to stay out of Gababy's way. Dot 2 comes in, playing it off the ceiling, looking to get it past Benji, but can't quite do so.
Pressure will be kept for the Lions. It bounces out mid, unable to do anything more with it, so Gababy will have to keep pressure a little longer. Jake Keys is going for the clear, is able to get past the midfield line, so Benji will follow up to keep pressure. Benji gets it past Gababy. The pass out mid, this could be a goal. Avdiel is unable to do anything more, though. It is blocked by Lions defense.
We are still at the It's Complicated 0-0 as both teams have 1 goal each as we cross into the 60 seconds remaining here in game number 1. Benji sends the ball into the corner. Now it looks like Jay Keys is going to go forward. Avdiel is going to rotate back before an awkward double commit occurs. Gababy pushing forward, takes a shot on goal. Turned away by Avdiel. 44 seconds left on the clock. Lions looking to forward goal. Arise Esports looking for a goal themselves, or are we going to see overtime first in this game? One of this best of 5 series. I know it says best of 7 down there, but it is just semifinal, so it is best of 5, rest assured.
Pass up to Gababy, passes back to his own teammate who takes the shot, is unable to find the back of the net. Benji will miss, though, allowing the Lions to keep pressure a little longer. Jay Keys will clean up the mess a little bit. Benji is bummed. Time for the Lions to get out. Ends up getting it past, but Avdiel will be in the way to keep pressure a little bit longer. Gababy catches, takes it, finds it over 1, is able to push it all the way to the corner, is looking for the 50-50, but finds a demo on Jay Keys instead. A shot here, a shot opportunity to say the least. Unable to find the back of the net. Gababy takes his own shot. Far corners, unable to find it. Barely robbed by the corner of the post, and now we've been sent to a golden goal situation.
And this is just game number 1, so pretty evenly matched teams as far as what we have seen from them. Benji goes to dunk the ball down. Gababy finds it immediately. Dot now bringing up the sidewall, looking to play it down to a teammate, but instead flicks it down too early. Dot 2 comes in to help them out. Tries to get around Jay Keys, so the other Dot 1 comes in. Gababy at the midfield gets taken out by Benji. Now Jay Keys going with the breakaway play, immediately thwarted by Dot.
Unable to get it out of the Lions corner, fighting against Avdiel, but Avdiel is able to play it around 2. Sketchy situation, barely blocked by the Lions defense. Have to kind of wait it out now. Jay Keys takes a shot of his own. Not a very good one, so will be cleared out with the Lions defense. Avdiel's in the way, looks for the pass all the way back on the other end, but Gababy's there to respond. Benji will look for the pass out mid to his teammate, but is again blocked by the Lions defense.
Benji dunks the ball, Jay Keys. Jay Keys gets taken out. Avdiel and Benji both at the midfield. Benji's gonna go for the challenge against Dot and take them out. Avdiel finds the clear back towards the mid. Dot pulling off of the wall, pops it up a couple of times, sends it to Gababy, but a whip from Gababy allows Avdiel to capitalize, bring it to the back third of the Lions side of the field. Benji comes in to help them out, takes the shot, but is thwarted by Dot. Gababy now pops it up over 1, trying to send it to Dot. Avdiel gets in the passing lane, taking away, bringing up the sidewall, looking for a reset opportunity off the back wall to get a shot on goal from their teammates. But Dot decides to send it across with a great volley, and the secondary follow-up off their own rebound. We'll find goal number 2 for the Lions 90 seconds into overtime. The Lions will walk away with the Game 1 victory.
Definitely a great start for the Lions to get that pressure early, to have that one game advantage on Arise Esports. But it was a well-fought game, to say the least. And just from watching Lions, I kind of feel like their epitome of the best offense is defense. I mean, the one goal that went in on them was kind of a stray pinch that was hard to read to begin with.
Honestly, that's quite the different playstyle than we saw from the Lions during the spring championship, at least. They were the, to quote you, came out swinging team and scored goals very quickly in rapid succession just to put themselves in the lead and to breathe comfortably for a little bit. Did not do that this time. It seemed like they'd actually focused a lot more on their defense rather than being an offensive type team, which is what I actually mentioned 2 weeks ago, because it felt like they're like, we don't need defense as long as our offense is so good. We have too many goals for them to catch up. So they can score a few, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Seems like that story is long since gone, and they've definitely been working on that defense. It was quite solid. Let's see if they can keep that up, though, as we go into game number 2.
Yeah, definitely have a lot to look forward to. See if their defense can hold up against Arise Esports again, because, you know, without that kind of stray goal from last game, so far they'd be held at a 0-0 scoreline, but ifs and buts. Now, Avdiel is determined to actually crack this defense, finding the first pressure, but Gababy ultimately went 2 50-50s to force Arise Esports to play a little defense. And an early shot almost finds the back of the net, a great shot. And at that, Jababy will be played by Avdiel.
Avdiel with possession. Dot has rotated back towards the goal. Avdiel plays it off the wall, but it hits an awkward ricochet off their card that they weren't expecting. So their attempt to send it to a teammate's throat. Dot sends it to Gababy after juking out all of the Arise Esports players, thinking they were going to send it to Dot 2. Now we have Dot number 2 coming in for shot on goal. Bounces down up over Dot 1 and finds goal number 1 in 36 seconds for the Lions.
Great backboard shot. He'll find the back of the net and find the Lions an early lead. Definitely a different start than we saw before. Maybe a different playstyle altogether, because it took so long to find the first goal last game. But Benji is determined to find a way out of his end and create an opportunity. Unable to get the J keys, however. Baby will get played once more by Benji. J keys barely unable to get it out, so Dot will push it downfield.
Dot takes a shot too slow. Benji now goes for the clear. Can't get it past Dot 2. Flicks it up off the ceiling, trying to dunk it down to Dot 1 off of the ricochet. Gababy now rotating back as fast as possible as the return has happened from Arise Esports. Benji now here in the corner has to take it off the ceiling because the ball is just a little bit too fast for him. Gababy off the backboard, looks for a teammate, tries to flick it forward, but Jay Keys gets a touch on a Dot, tries to dunk it down to Dot 2. Unfortunately sends it down to Avdiel. Avdiel in the corner has the ball taken away from them by Dot. Jay Keys dunks the ball down to Benji, who's going to elevate 50-50 challenge. Whipped by 2 Lions members, and Arise Esports will find goal number 1 for themselves and tie us at 1 aside.
Threads the needle between 2 offenders in the aerial hemisphere and is unable to find the back of the net off of a solo play. And now the Lions are forced to find their lead again or give up a lead altogether, as Dot is able to force it a little bit longer, but only so that Avdiel can play it into the corner. Gababy has to make the save here, but Dot cuts in anyway. Good communication to not have Gababy up. Gababy will take a 50. Dot will take the 50. It'll pass out to Gababy, who's able to keep pressure. Passes it over to the other side, is unable to find a teammate, so Benji will just take pressure for now.
Benji dragging the ball down, gets past Dot. It's going to go up off the back wall with no backwards momentum, so it's not going to go right back towards the J Keys, though, off of the clear from one of the Lions members, capitalizes immediately with some help from Avdiel, finds goal number 2 for Arise Esports. They are now up by 1 with 2 minutes, 46 seconds on the clock.
Arise Esports finding the first lead of this game, or of the series for them, but they have to hold it. Lions play it past 1. Dot is now looking for a teammate out mid, but is ultimately played by Avdiel, so Gababy has to look for the pass instead. Finds 50-50, finds the other shot, but is blocked by Jay Keys. Now Gababy looks for the pass out mid. No one's there yet. Dot finds the touch, is blocked by Jay Keys. Dot on another touch, is unable to get in the way. Avdiel will push it downfield instead, who leaves it for Gababy.
Gababy gets it up over Jay Keys. Dot comes in for the challenge against Benji. Ball is sent to the corner where Avdiel tries to get it past Dot 2, but Dot 2 dunks it down into the corner. Benji elevates, tries to get it away from them, but Gababy comes in to help them out. Ball still here on the Arise Esports side of the field. Dot and Jay Keys go for the 50-50. Dot 2 goes to dunk it down past Avdiel, hits the crossbar. Gababy goes for the tertiary, can't find it. Ball now still here at the midfield. Dot goes for another Opportunity to dunk it down into the goal. Has to get it past Avdiel. Avdiel with the challenge though. Ball still ricochets awkwardly. Thankfully there's no replay there because I think it might have hit Jakey's car. And that is goal number 2 for the Lions. We are now tied at the It's Complicated 0-0. Both teams at 2.
An aerial 50-50 will lead to the second goal scored for the Lions, putting us at 4-goal game so far. Benji trying to look for a pressure downfield, but Dot will push it past one. Is unable to get the 50-50 past Avdiel, so Jababy will be tasked with the next shot. Is blocked by Avdiel again. So the Dot will get the touch downfield one more time, looking for the aerial play. Benji is in the way, unable to do anything with it. Jababy gets it across. Is there an offender? No, Benji is able to get it out for free. Jay Keys now looking for the pass out mid, is blocked. Jababy has to play defense for a little bit now, as Jay Keys will take it up the wall. Bounce past Jababy, could be an opportunity here. Flick out mid to his teammate Benji, just a little bit high, unable to make the touch.
Shot on goal going to be turned away by Dot. Dot now goes to the 50-50 against Benji. Havdeal decides to take out Dot too though. On Jay Keys to take this ball to the wall. Dunking it down though because Gababy was putting pressure on them. Dot pushes the ball forward. Trying to send it to Gababy, but Benji's going to go for the challenge. Ball slowing down here in the corner. Shot on goal from Dot. Not the right angle. Cleared by Jay Keys. Gababy rotating back as fast as possible. Dot will find possession first. Ball popped up here on the back third. Gababy will push it forward. Avdeal though immediately volleys it towards the net. Saved at the last second by Dot.
Blocked by Dot will force a little bit more time. Dot will come in and take it from Dot, so Dot pressures. Benji is unable to be in the way. Forces it just a little bit further. Benji gets the free touch, maybe a shot. Unable to get it. Jay Keys will force it out. Now, Dot is looking for a play around Avdiel. Will lose it. Dot will get it now. Pass upfield. Benji is tasked with playing it next, but Dot will beat him out. Find a touch in the corner. Jababy look for the pass out mid. Is unable to find it.
Avdiel pushes the ball to Jay Keys, immediately taken away by Dot, who pushes it forward to Dot too. Now ball hits that back wall. Gababy looks to dunk it down to Dot. All three members of Arise Esports bunch up awkwardly, but they still manage to make a breakaway here onto the back third. We are once again in overtime. Let's see how long this one lasts. This is just game number 2, and we have had back-to-back overtimes between these two teams, definitely showing how equally matched they are.
Gababy getting the touch out to defuse the situation, but Avdiel will take a long shot, almost finds back to the net. Dot will make a barely save on Jay Keys' shot and keep us in the game for a little bit longer. Jababy gets the touch out mid. He's unable to do anything more with it. Dot will come in and save the day, so Avdiel has to rotate back. Avdiel gets the next touch here. Does find the 50-50 off of Dot and unable to do anything more with it, so Avdiel looks for the pass out mid, but it is blocked by the second Dot.
Benji plays it around Dot to Avdiel. Avdiel tries to dunk it down in the net. Gababy though read it well, was waiting. Jay Keys takes out Dot too, forcing possession in their favor. Dot to responded, plays it up over Benji, drags it down unfortunately right to Jay Keys though, who pops up to Benji on the wall, who tries to get it past Dot too. Now Benji has it to leave possession, leaving Avdiel to come in, take another shot. Can't find the angle. All three defenders from the Lions though quite bunched up right now. Benji will find one of them as they go up in a plume of smoke. Avdiel goes for the shot on goal. It's going to be taken away at the midfield. 50-50 goes in favor of Dot, who has Dot 2 on the ground waiting for them, but they cannot quite find that connection. Gababy tries to take the shot, but it's going to go right, sailing past that goal in front of it.
A demo will create an opportunity for the Lions to keep pressure a little bit longer, but it's unable to do anything really. Dot will follow it off the wall, but Avdiel will beat him, so the 50-50 will just hang mid. Gababy gets the touch towards the back of the net. A good scoop by Period will keep it in a little bit longer. Dot touches it towards the corner. Gababy gets the pass out mid, but no one there to respond. Possibly a breakaway. No one in the way, but they don't find the back of the net either. Just a complete catastrophe from both teams. We're back in silver here for a moment. Now the Lions have to respond and find a way out.
Dear goodness, Lions, please don't do that again. Life is crazy and you gave me heart palpitations. You guys do that all the gosh darn time. Please don't do that again to me. We have Avdiel go and take out the goalkeeper here for the Lions. Dot looking to dunk it down to a teammate. Plays it past one. Benji immediately pushing forward. Gets a great touch on it with the nose of their car. All three members of Rise Esports have rotated back. Benji pushes the ball forward. It crosses that midfield stripe, but Gababy and Dot are both waiting there. Now, Jay Keys go for the challenge. Can't get high enough. Gababy volleys it. Avdiel dunks it down, but it goes right back to Gababy.
Gababy looking to play around one. Is unable to get there, so Avdiel will pass off the wall. Gets past Period. Now he has to pass it out mid. Benji is there. Is able to take the shot just barely off the sidewall. The shot is not there from Avdiel either. Pressure still has yet to convert. Gababy will push it downfield. Jay Keys in the way. A battle in the midfield currently. Benji takes the touch off the sidewall, is unable to do anything more, so Dot will get the touch out mid. Ooh.
Shot on goal from Dot, turned away by Avdiel, who ball's going to cross the midfield stripe. Baby looks to dunk it down to Dot 2. Dot 2 whiffs it, allowing Benji to get a touch on it, sending it to the corner, corralled by Dot, who's going to volley it right back towards the midfield. Played off the wall to themselves, disrupted by one of the Arise Esports players. Doesn't matter though, Dot still has possession, plays it up over one. Can they get it past J Keys here in the corner? They will not. Benji now in possession, looking to push forward, has to get it around 2. Tries to send it to Avdiel, circumvented there by Dot. Dot tries to get a touch on it, but can't find it. Ball now sent going right back towards the mid.
Pass out middle from Dot to Jababy. The shot down, barely unable to find the corner touch. Bounces in a weird way. Dot gets the next touch, plays it past J Keys. 50-50 will go in favor of Jababy. He's able to get in the way first. Maybe a follow off the wall. Benji and Avdiel not quite in the right spot. Avdiel will get the touch out to the corner though. Benji is able to respond first, passes it down. Dot will have to hit it to the corner, and the play will diffuse altogether.
Ball here in the corner with J Keys. Going to be cleared away by Dot. Goes to the midfield. Avdiel pops it up. Dot 2 is going to go in the air. No pressure on them. Looks to get it past Benji. Can't quite find it. Benji volleys it across the midfield stripe where Gababy is waiting. Sending it into the corner. Plays around Avdiel, but they do not have follow-up from their teammates in time. Ball still here on the back third of Rise Esports side of the field. Benji off the back wall. Has one of their teammates get demoed. Gababy with the 50-50 challenge. Forces Benji to get rid of possession. Dot now pushing forward off the wall. Tries to play it around J Keys. Does, but can't get it past Avdiel.
Avdiel looking for a pass out mid, but Dot will press it downfield a little bit longer. Benji hits it towards the backboard. Gababy is in the way, back down to Dot. He will dribble it for a little bit. Probably looks past one, looks past the second. Gets the knock off the sidewall. Could go mid for a teammate here. Avdiel does get the bump though, so pressure will be relieved for a moment. Dot keeping it to himself for a little bit longer. Finds it off the corner, looks for a pass out mid. No one's there. Avdiel will keep pressure onto the other side.
Ball's popped up by Dot. Gababy comes in to push it down into the net. Unfortunately, a little bit too wide. Dot 2 goes in for the follow-up. It bounces down, allowing Benji to grab it off the wall. He's got to look for an opportunity to find it clear here. A 50-50 challenge between them and Dot allows J Keys to actually come in and help them out. Dot's going to go back in for the challenge instead. J Keys is going to put pressure on Dot 2. Now Dot 2 chooses to lead the ball for Gababy, who pops it up. Benji goes in to volley the ball back to the back to the line side of the field. And if anyone's wondering, yes, we have just crossed the 5-minute mark. We have now doubled a single round of Rocket League and then some here in game number 2. Lions and Arise Esports still tied to a side.
Tap out will go in favor of the Lions. Keep the pressure a little bit longer, and Avdiel will be in the way. Jababy looks for the pass to his teammate, but Benji will just take it anyway. Does hit it downfield though, so it'll go to J Keys, who does get demoed. Dot leaves it for his teammate. Dot takes a shot. Avdiel will be in the way. Benji is up, takes a touch off the backboard. Unable to do anything more with it, so Dot will carry it of his own whim. Benji will tap it out mid to Gababy, who takes the launch downfield, looking for an opportunity off the sidewall. Is unable to do it, and the ball will remain in the hands of the orange side.
Avdiel pushing forward is challenged by Dot, who tries to dunk the ball down away from their possession. Avdiel does ultimately lose it. Benji's trying to help them out. J Keys does eventually find the opportunity to do so. Ball still here on the Lions side of the field. Ball is live in the air. Gababy dunks it down. It's going to be dunked down to J Keys though, who keeps the ball here at the mid, off the wall. Dot goes for the shot. Not enough momentum though. Easily turned away by Avdiel. Dot off the wall. It's going to be grabbed by Benji, who plays it off the backboard, but Gababy's waiting there. It ends up going to Avdiel. Lots of just ricochet and just kind of hitting the ball and hoping for the best right now happening. Doesn't seem like anyone really has a plan of what to do when they get these opportunities to send the ball somewhere. Rather, they are just hoping for something to happen. And Avdiel finally answers everyone's prayer 6 minutes and 34 seconds into overtime. Arise Esports will walk away with the Game 2 victory. We are now tied 1-1 as far as the series goes, and we are now at a best of 3.
Well, that was certainly a start. That was a completely different game out of the gate from the Lions, I would say, because game 1, like I said, it felt like they were playing a lot of defense and they were doing it pretty well. And this time it kind of felt like, even at the loss of their own net, sometimes they were playing hyper aggressive and trying to force their lead, dare I say, down the throats of Arise, but it wasn't working, to say the least. We took it all the way down to 6 minutes in an overtime.
Arise was doing a fantastic job of not allowing those passes to be as easy as the Lions would have hoped. Let's see if they can do that again, though. I feel like over 6 minute long overtime can really gas some players. So let's hope the exhaustion doesn't start to show here, because whichever team walks away with the victory in this series has to then go into a best-of-7 against the Vipers. So let's just say that the amount of energy they have better be higher than mine currently. With that being said, I wish both teams best of luck. As I mentioned earlier, we're tied 1-1. It's still anybody's game. Ball is already on the back third of the Lions side of the field. Dot tries to find the clear, immediately taken away by Jay Keys, who's going to bring the ball down into the corner. Gababy pops it up. Ball is still over on their side of the field, though. They can't find the clear. Benji goes to the shot on goal. Is going to be challenged by Dot. Avdiel challenges Dot 2 for the breakaway play for the Lions, taking away that opportunity immediately, forcing them to slow down and rethink what they're doing. Ball now at the mid from Gababy, pushing it forward into the corner of Arise Esports side of the field.
Benji will look for a clear of his own, but is blocked by Dot. Dot will find another 50-50, so Dot will take it off the wall. Avdiel will take control of the play, however, and knock it downfield, keeping the pressure on their side a little bit longer. Tap upfield. Benji unable to do anything more with it. Gababy hits it off the wall, is blocked by the orange offense, so now a little bit longer in the blue end of the field. Almost an opportunity there, but Dot will ultimately have to hit it off the sidewall and just give it to Avdiel.
Avdiel goes for the centering opportunity to Benji, hits that fourth man crossbar. Double commit there between two members of Arise Esports. One of them's going to get demoed. They've respawned now. Avdiel pushing Dot away, allows Benji to volley the ball to the back third. Off the backboard, Jay Keys tries to find an opportunity. Benji decides to take out Dot, though. Benji now racing back as Gababy pushes forward with possession. Cannot corral the ball away from the Arise Esports players here in the corner. Avdiel at the midfield pops the ball up too high, allowing Dot to push it over there. Benji elevates, sending the ball into the corner on the Lions side of the field.
Gababy gets a solid 50-50, is demoed for his efforts, however, so Dot will have to force it downfield. Keeps it a little bit longer, passes it out mids, so Dot will be able to take a shot. Avdiel has to be the one to make the save off the sidewall. Gababy will look for his own pass mid, blocked by Jay Keys. Dot will have to be in the way, is unable to be in the way, so now Gababy is tasked with keeping it on that side. Both Dots in the corner, a little bit of a double commit could lead to a bad opportunity for Gababy, but Gababy is able to hold his end just a little bit longer.
Dot elevates, has Gababy, but Gababy has to rotate. Avdiel pushes the ball against the wall. Dot takes the opportunity to have a shot off the back wall. Gababy's there for the follow-up. Avdiel barely gets a touch on it to get the save, now pushing forward. Looks like Dot's ready to put the pressure on them, but they're juked out by Avdiel, who does the complete reversal and finds goal number 1 for Rise Esports. 2 minutes and 44 seconds left on the clock.
Dot will tap it out, looking for a pass off the mid wall. Hits it down, is able to get it to his teammate, but is unable to find the back of the net. A weird shot to say the least. Gababy will have to fall off the wall. A double commit from the blue side will leave a little bit of pressure on the Rise for a little bit longer. Benji taking it out all on his own. Dot will force him to play the game a little bit longer, though. Avdiel hits it out mid. Dot is in the way, is able to keep pressure for a little bit longer. Jay Keys off the wall, unable to do anything more. Now Gababy will take a shot, unable to do anything more than that, however. Benji will knock it out, converting pressure a little bit longer.
Benji does not have a lot of pressure here on them in the corner. We do see Jay Keys is going to take out one of the Lions Esports defending players. Ball at the midfield, Benji, once again, not a lot of pressure being immediately put on them. Jay Keys gets a touch on it. Gababy sends the ball across that to the midfield. Dot pops up off the back wall. Avdiel out of position. Benji makes another save for Arise Esports.
Dot up, take the touch out mid, unable to do anything more. Dot will take a shot and it'll go to the far corner and in. Lions able to hold on a little bit longer with less than 2 minutes left in the game.
These teams are so evenly matched, it's very difficult to decide which way this one is going to go. I foresee another insanely long overtime, which is completely fine. That means both teams gave it their all. After all, this is a semifinal match. They're looking for the opportunity to go into the grand finals. Lions are hungry for a rematch against the Vipers to reclaim that title, as they did lose out to them at the end of the spring series in our final spring rumble 2 weeks ago. Let's see if they'll get that rematch, or if Arise Esports will thwart all of their attempts and be the ones to take on the Vipers in our first summer series grand championship for the Rocket League Rumble.
Gababy will tap it up and out. Avdiel will find a way into the play regardless. Dot passes it off the sidewall back to the other Dot. Gababy is up for the shot next. Takes the shot. Unable to do anything more. Benji will block. Dot takes another shot. Is blocked a little bit longer. Jay Keys and Avdiel in the way of each other. Unable to keep anything going there. So Dot will have pressure for a little bit longer.
Dog can't find a touch, finally does, takes a shot. Avdiel finds a save. We are ticking down into that 30-second territory. Avdiel just bullying Dot away from the ball, and that's a true strategy. I don't mean to say that bullying's bad in this game in some circumstances. Jay Keys at the midfield plays the ball off of the wall. Avdiel sends it to the ceiling. It's going to drop down to Dot 1, who takes out Benji in return for all of the demos that Benji has committed on to the Lions Esports team members. Dot now with possession, gets it past Jay Keys. Can they get it past Benji? Benji pops it up. Gababy comes here into the corner, looks to center it up to a teammate. Jay Keys can't get a touch on it. Will Dot, we are crossing 10 seconds left on the clock. Will we see a buzzer beater goal, or are we headed into overtime? Dot donks the ball down to ensure it is indeed overtime.
50-50 in favor of the Lions, are able to control, which is rare. Gababy has to go for 50-50 here. Avdiel will find a good 50-50 with relief pressure a little bit longer. Dot takes it off the wall. Jay Keys is in the way. Dot whiffs altogether. Gababy with the touch out mid. No one to respond. Avdiel will tap it up. Oh, not a great clear. An opportunity here for the Lions. Takes the shot down and in. An excellent counter. Finding the high shot will put them ahead in that game and find them a Game 3 victory. Or that was Game 2?
Yes, remember our. Wait, wasn't that Game 2?
That was Game 3. Yeah, because the first one was a slow game from the Lions. We played it defense and they won, right? And then Game 2 was the last one we just watched, was 6-minute overtime. And then that one was Game 3.
Ah, yes, you're right.
Yes.
So, Lions, I'm sorry. I have had 2 hours of sleep. It happens. My allergies are very bad. With that being said, Lions will have the opportunity for their rematch. Unfortunately, we will not have a rematch here on desk as far as the Spice Challenge. Maybe at the end of the summer series. I'm really hoping we get to do that again. It was quite fun.
Yes.
I think, yeah, you enjoyed it as well. Make sure we have.
I probably enjoyed it more, honestly.
Yeah, I think you did. And next time I actually will clear both plates as opposed to just clearing my own. I have been working on my Spice over the last couple of weeks. I'm ready. No, I'm really not. With that being said, that is the end of our second. Oh, I was right. Yes. Okay. Production just corrected us. We have one more match. That was just game number. Wait, that was. Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah. So it's best of 5. There were 3 games, and the score is 2-1.
Yes, the score is 2-1. I'm
to be
very
fair,
tired.
in your defense, that 6-minute overtime turned my brain to mush. So I'm just barely hanging in here,
This is what you guys do to us. Okay, so we're going to jump into game number 4. Right now, Arise Esports is hoping to start to bring this one back in their favor. They have there's a glimmer of hope there. They can do it. Their defense is disgustingly solid. Avdiel, also disgusting. Benji, you are a demolition derby specialist. But with that being said, it looks like the Lions are starting to catch on to those, starting to return the favors a little bit. Let's see who comes out on top. Will the Lions walk away with this victory and find the game number 3 they need, or is it a Rise Esports opportunity to turn things in their favor?
If I'm the Lions right now, coming into this next game, my number 1 threat that I see on Rise Esports right now is Avdiel. Not because he's just taking over the game altogether, but like you said, Avdiel has proven himself to be a defensive monster so far this series, finding his way into every single play the Lions try to put together. I'd like to see the Lions put together a little bit more demos and see if they can create holes instead of trying to force Avdiel out of position.
Or you
right
could just do what Dot just did. Gababy's going to do a little bit of a victory lap into that goal. Goal number 1 in 30 seconds, much faster than what we got to see earlier. Perhaps we're seeing a return of how the Lions used to do things, which is screw the defense. We're going all the way with offense. Doesn't matter how many goals you score because we're going to score more. But, you know, I feel like if you do that strategy, Avdiel might capitalize on that weakened defense. We'll have to wait and see. We've got 4 minutes still on the clock. Plenty of Rocket League left to play.
We can see Dot actually landed in the orange net and just spent time after that turning and bumping into as many defenders as he could. Maybe taking that advice to heart, trying to find a way into the Arise Esports defense, trying to find a way to make it crumble so that their offensive pressure can be converted into goals. But a weird pass out mid will almost lead to an opportunity for the Lions to score again. Gababy is up looking for a shot of his own. 2 defenders on the backboard will collide and find a way out, but it will cost them 2 whole tanks of boost. And now Dot looks for a touch out here. Past 1 is unable to get it. Avdiel will convert the pressure finally.
That's not something we've seen quite frequently from Arise Esports. Not a lot of double commits to capitalize on. Thankfully, that one was not taken advantage of by the Lions. Avdiel, though, elevating with very, very little pressure. Dot will pop the ball up and over them. Benji comes in to help them out. Collides with Gababy. Ball at the mid. Jay Keys with possession. Dot looking to find a clear, has a double commit coming on to them, possible up, hoping for Gababy to come in and help them out. They do. Gababy now off the wall, can't get it around Avdil, so they have to dunk it down. Dot comes in to help them out, crossing that midfield stripe. Benji is there though. Benji, the Demolition Derby specialist, cannot find the connection to get a clean pass and whiffs on the follow-up touch from the wall. Dot now with the opportunity to find a clear.
50-50 on Benji will head all the way to the other side of the corner, just as safe for the Lions as it was before, but now playing from the left side instead of the right. And now Rise Esports tries to find a way behind one. Dot will pass it up to himself, take it a little bit further. Benji passes it off the wall. Not a great touch. Go to the Gababy, keeps pressure a little bit longer. Dot is in the way, but is not able to do anything. So Gababy will take it off the wall. Maybe hands it to Dot off the 50-50. Nope, goes for it himself. Has to play around Benji. J Keys goes for the demo, just hits nothing. Dot and Gababy will 50-50 each other and prevent a goal altogether. Whoa, a crazy pinch will go straight to the backboard there. Dot is in the way, however, to keep pressure a little bit longer.
Gababy at the mid goes for the challenge against Gababy. Avdil's going to elevate with no pressure on them, place it into the back third and the Lion side of the field. Avdil, though, has Dot just pushing them around, and they come in, taking the ball away from J Keys. Benji at the mid plays it, looks for an opportunity. Gababy takes it away. They might have pushed forward too far. Nope, just in time they get a nose on to push against the back wall, allowing Avdil at the midfield to take this ball away. Gababy rotates, comes back around, swooping in to send the ball right back across the midfield. Dot returns the favor yet again. Avdil pushing Dot far away, grabs the ball, pops it up over one, plays it to the back wall, has J Keys coming in for the follow-up. Perfectly angled, perfectly timed. That is goal number 1 for Rise Esports. Minute 41 seconds on the clock, and we are at the It's Complicated 0-0.
I feel like this has been a recurring theme so far this series, but that theme almost immediately overthrown by a great shot by Benji. But the pressure is still on the Lions. They have to find a way out of their end and into the enemy back to the net. But Gababy has to make the play on his own. Passes downfield, is cleared out by Benji. Off the wall, Dot will be in the way, but Benji will find the 50-50 out. Gababy gets a good touch, keeps pressure on a little bit longer. Avdil will pass it up to himself, maybe looking for a flip reset here. He does get it, just slips it out to the corner instead.
We have a minute and 4 seconds left on the clock. Both teams looking for 1 goal plus 1 more to be making sure they're sitting comfortably without a buzzer beater opportunity for happening. I actually really hope we do not see overtime in this game, because that last overtime we saw really got me flummoxed. 6 minutes and a handful of seconds is a little bit too much, guys. Let's see if we can close this one out. We've got 44 seconds left on the clock. With the way things have gone thus far, the trend continues. We'll see an overtime, but Dot's trying to prevent that from happening, but hits that ever so steadfast man, the 4th man, the crossbar.
50-50 will pass all the way to the other side. Dot will get a high touch up. Unable to do anything with it, though. Benji outplays Gababy, and is now looking for a pass out mid. Dot will get in the way, force it off the wall, and follow it up himself. Has to get past Avdil, though, a challenge not few have been able to do. Dot is in the way. Gababy gets the pass out to Dot, is rising up, gets the pass off the backboard, unable to do anything more. Shot from Dot will find the back of the net. Looks like top corner material. A great shot altogether, great pass. Working together as a team to create the opportunity, and that will put the Lions ahead with less than 10 seconds on the clock. Oh, and there's your consolation goal off the kickoff. We haven't seen a lot of those this series. I don't think any.
I know, and I used to be a huge proprietor for kickoff goals. I absolutely adore them, but they're kind of hard to pull off when another team can really get into your head. We've got 2 seconds left on the clock. Lions sitting comfortably with a 1-goal lead plus a security goal that I always say, so there's no buzzer beater opportunity for Rise Esports, even if Benji's goal had gone in. Congratulations, Lions. You guys will be facing off against the Vipers in the Grand Championship for this week. Seems like a repeat, but we don't have the torture on desk this time. And ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. Esports Star really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake. And if you're watching and haven't checked out the Esports Star clubs, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up, or if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. With that being said, that wasn't an easy-fought victory in the slightest. Rise Esports seems to be a force to reckon with, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And when we come back, I'm going to be super excited to see if the Vipers are going to solidify themselves as the team, or if we're going to see a Lions kind of comeback here.
I want a Lions comeback, man. They did me dirty last week. My stomach suffered. I walked myself into that, by the way, because I'm the one who came up with the idea for the Spice Challenge Play, so by no means am I putting the blame on you guys. I'm just trying to deflect it off of myself so I can, reason that it wasn't fully my fault. It totally was. With that being said, we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back with our Grand Championship match, the rematch, the grudge match to start out the summer between the Lions and the Vipers.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Hello, production. It's time for our grand finals, our first for the summer series as far as Rocket League goes. The Lions and the Vipers face off for the second, in quotation marks, week in a row. The last time these two faced off, the Vipers won in a gruelingly long 7-game series. Both my stomach and mine and Joe's tongue suffered for the entirety of that series, but it was with a lot of fun, and we hope to see a just as hard-fought series coming up. As I mentioned, still nerdy and tacky on desk, calling all the shots here for you. All right, so we kind of touched on it earlier. What are you hoping to see that's different between the Lions and the Vipers this time?
Well, I feel like definitely the two of them are playing their own game right now, so I feel like I can't really say that. We kind of saw the Lions revert back to their offensive prowess from before, as you'd expect out of Lions, to say the least.
You guys are getting
But what
predictable.
I'm kind of hoping is that we see, honestly, if another Game 7. I want to see them battle it out for this title again, because after the rivalry that we created the last 2 weeks, I'd really be happy to see that come to fruition again.
All right, that's completely fair. Hopefully we start to see a blossoming, friendly rivalry for the remainder of the summer series here between the Lions and the Vipers. That'd be really cool to keep that storyline going. Good luck to the best of both of you guys. But before we jump into that game, we have some final keys of advice before we send you off into the realm of Rocket League, and those come in the form of Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, which are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo in the goal. Doc's keys to the game are presented by esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
And with that being said, before we move into this next game, I'd like to ask, because kind of we've asked me a bunch, what are you kind of expecting out of this next series? Like, what should we be kind of waiting to see out of both these teams? Are there any key adjustments that they need to make after the last time they played?
As far as the Lions go, I feel like they need to actually, when the clock starts ticking down, there's a lot of just kind of throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And they need to be, as I mentioned, committing and doing things with a purpose. So hopefully they actually start anticipating plays. They started anticipating a lot of the demos that were coming out from Benji in that last game. So kudos to you guys for predicting that and figuring that out and not spending more time on the respawn screen. But beyond that, they need to start thinking about what the other team is going to do. That is... the term escapes me, but it is basically, you know, thinking 2 turns ahead of the person in front of you and trying to figure out what they're going to do. So it's
anticipation?
Well, no, there's a real term for it that's used in statistics and stats analysis that is escaping me right now. Oh, sorry, it's game theory, actually, is what that is. Hello, Internet. So with that in mind, I really want the players to start focusing more on the theory of the gameplay that they're doing, because they already know that this other team is very strong. Yeah. They know how they like to play, so start anticipating that play style and adjusting yours to compensate for what they're doing, so it's harder for them to start running away with the scoreboard. That's what I hope for.
Yeah, and especially as the clock winds down and they just start to kind of throw the ball around willy-nilly, I think the important thing to remember is, even though whether or not the time is on your side or against you in those kinds of situations, it's important to remember that, like we say, play every game like it's game 1. You have to play every minute like it's the first minute, right? Just play your best all the time. Otherwise, you give those opportunities like we saw in the last series where 2 goals just come out of nowhere, and that solidifies the end of the series as a whole. So right now, waiting for those kinds of adjustments. We've got, for the Lions now, we've got your baby Jake and Cran. No more dots. Instead, we've got our familiar faces of Jake and Cran out here to show us why they deserve this Grand Finals victory. But in front of them, they have the Vipers, featuring Enzo, Endercrafter, and Zydra, who are well established and very willing to take this from them again. But so far, your baby, finding the first goal of the series, will keep the pressure on the Vipers to respond.
Be very interesting how this shakes out for the Lions, because one thing to keep in mind is that typically when we see Jake in, they are a substitute for players that could not show up. So that could be, this is a different roster than we saw in the game earlier. Probably one of the Lions players had a commitment that they had to go take care of, which is perfectly acceptable. We understand people have lives and video games aren't everything. So Jake typically steps in those situations, especially if we see them score a goal and it ends up being the bunny goal animation. It's definitely the Jake that we always see. As we see Gababy finding goal number 2 for the Lions, not even a full 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, Gababy doing a really good job of keeping his offensive pressure that he's known for in the face of the Vipers, forcing them to have a way to respond. And I think so far, Jake and Cran have done a really good job of supporting those opportunities for Gababy, making sure that when Gababy goes up for those big commits, he's not leaving defense out in the wind.
We have Gababy and Enzo go for a 50-50 challenge in the air. Neither one really gets a better touch. Jake goes to push off Endercrafter. All still here on the back there to the Viper side of the field. Enzo looking for an opportunity. Doesn't even pursue it, though, because Cran comes swooping in first. Awkward ricochet reads the ball to the midfield where Enzo has an opportunity for a breakaway. Hits the crossbar, though, that side post. Never anyone's friend. Jake now looking to play around. Endercrafter gets it past them. Leaves the ball, though, expecting Gababy to be there. That ESP not quite connecting just yet between those two.
Able to hold out for a little bit longer. Zydra looks for a pass at mid, is unable to get it. Enzo passes off the backboard. is unable to get it past the first defender there for Gababy, but Zydra does pop it out to the side, so Endercrafter has a little bit of time to himself. Does just get the pass out to Gababy though, so Jake will have to find a way around. He's unable to do so. Enzo forces a 50-50 and almost finds it back in the net.
One thing that I want to bring up right now is that the Lions are currently up by 2. Something we saw them in last week as well. Also, not to mention, they were in a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 series. They are now at that 3-0 lead yet again, not in a series, but in this first game here in this best-of-7 series. But the Vipers ultimately won out in a reverse sweep. And the thing that I brought up earlier, which is that exhaustion, the concern that I had, because a best-of-5 series where one game goes over the amount of one entire game of Rocket League and then some can be quite mentally exhausting. I feel like overtime in general is exhausting for players. And with that in mind, let's hope the Lions don't allow this one to slip through the cracks like sand through their fingers like it did last week, and they'll come out on top of this one, of course. I am being biased.
The mental game here is surely super important. As you said, this is a very similar start to what we saw the last time these two teams played each other in a best-of-7. So it has a double-edged sword effect on the Lions if they let it get to them. It can make them feel like, oh, well, we're winning, we've got this, we're well ahead. And then there's the other thing of like, well, this happened last time and it didn't save us. So I think the important thing is to just stay in the moment and make sure that you're playing only around your comms and nothing more, and not paying much attention to the scoreboard. Unbind it if you have to.
Sometimes that's what you need to do, just like muting out in other games. But don't do that here. You guys are all teammates and you should be in good spirits. Coach Jake goes in for the, sorry, not Coach Jake. Jake goes in for the shot on goal. It's actually looked like a dust animation this time, so that might not be our standard Jake. This actually might be a standard roster rotation now for the Lions coming in here. We've got Gababy pushing forward, sending the ball off that backboard. Endercrafter is there. It looks like an attempted dunk down from Jake was thwarted. Jake, though, goes for a demo and gets demoed themselves, something you always got to keep in mind. We've got Gababy going for the 50-50 against Zydra. Now in the air, Cran's just going to throw Endercrafter away from the ball. Gababy goes for the dunk and whiffs it. Jake and Gababy double commit on that ball, forced to both give up because Enzo's pushing forward now. Jake cuts in, gets a touch, demo onto one of the defenders. Gababy, though, finds the clear to the mid.
As we're winding down to only 60 seconds left on the clock, 4 goals is quite the hill to climb for the Vipers. Definitely something they can do, but I'd say clearly unlikely. So right now, all the Lions have to focus on is playing their own game and holding the defense strong for a little while longer, and they can take game 1.
One thing that the Vipers do have in their favor, though, is the fact that because they've been in a similar situation before, they can say, it happened before, we can do this, we can bring it back in our favor. And knowing that they have that capability is very important, because feeling confidence is something that helps keep you calm and cool and collected under pressure. So let's see if the Vipers can continue to do that, because right now, 28 seconds, 4 goals, not likely to happen. However, finding one morality goal probably will help them out. Let's see if Zydra or Endercrafter can do that right here.
So far, unable to create any real pressure for the Vipers this time around. Doesn't mean they're out of it yet. Just means that they're going to have to start a little bit from scratch in the next game. And I think, like you said, it's really important that Vipers as well, stay out of their head. Just remember, hey, we've been in this situation before, plenty of Rocket League left to play. And that is one of the fun parts about Game 7s, is why, or not Game 7s, Best of 7s, that they can take a while, but they give you a lot of opportunity to make adjustments and really come together as a team in those clutch moments.
Hey,
I think this great long Zydra shot into the back of the net at 0 seconds will be a great reminder that they're well into their own element here, and they're very capable of making something happen.
And I know I was bringing up like the Vipers mentality and keeping it themselves level-headed, but actually over the course of the last week, the coaches have been working with the Lions the most on that. Considering what happened during the last championship, I don't blame them. The tilting could have started happening. The comms could have started to go sideways. We don't know because we're only on desk, but we definitely saw some things start to break down in those last games. Granted, it was still very hard fought and very close in every instance, but, you know, at the end of the day, you got to make sure you stay calm and you treat it like it's 0-0 and it's game 1, like we say all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely the case. And I feel like no matter what happens in this game 2, they have to just remember to keep their heads in place and they'll be just fine most of the time. These are 2 powerhouse teams that we've been looking forward to watching again since the last time they played together.
Yes, we have, and hopefully we'll get to see much more of these teams in the future. I want to see them go against each other time and time again, and just the title be handed off back and forth constantly until the end of the season. That's what I want to see, so there's a never-ending grudge match. So we go here into game number 2. The Lions are currently up by 1 in this best-of-7 series.
Enzo will play pass 1, maybe looks to his teammate out mid, goes for the wall pass, unable to do anything more with it, so Gababy will take it away. Gababy has switched to possibly the ugliest car in Rocket League history, the Garab. one of my personal favorites, but it won't really make a difference here. Enzo looks for the pass out mid, unable to do anything more, so Jake will just hit it off backboard.
I want to take a closer look at Gababy's car, but Cran is going to have the moment of sweet victory as they find goal number 1 for themselves perfectly 30 minutes into the game as far as that clock goes. And Lions up by 1, looking for another goal for themselves, but Zydra's looking to even out the playing field immediately. Has played around Gababy. They have Enzo over towards the midfield, but they'll leave the ball instead. Enzo's going to come swooping in, looking to center it up. Jake is going to pass it over to Gababy. He's going to play it on the wall. Has the opportunity to dunk it down to Cram, but it looks like they whiffed it a little bit. Double commit. Slightly also a triple there between the members of the Lions. Still not giving up on this offensive opportunity. Gababy flicks the ball down, dunking it in front of the net, bounces up into the corner, and that's goal number 2 for the Lions.
Great job by Gababy to make sure to keep it not very complicated. Sees the back of the net is clear and takes the shot. Endercrafter now is put in a position where he has to find a way to respond or create an opportunity at least. He's unable to do anything more with it, so Zydra takes the 50 and loses it out to Jake. Jake now only has to play by 1 more defender, is able to get it, and the Lions will push ahead by 3 goals with less than, well, just more than 1 minute left or taken from this game so far.
I mean, if they want to just focus on making sure they have clean rotations, passing, and comms, now is the time to do that, actually. A 3-goal lead means that you're sitting comfortably. It really comes down to making sure your defense is strong, because otherwise, if you all bunch up like that and decide to have a little powwow in front of your goal, Endercrafter, Zydra, and Enzo are all going to take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and I think so far, even with the devastating lead that the Lions have already created for themselves, the Vipers can't be worried too much yet. Having that lead super early on means that you just have more time to respond. Endercrafter looks for a shot of his own there that might have gone in if he had made contact, but is unable to do anything, so Jake will take to the air. Enzo will block him though and keep pressure for a bit longer, so Gababy has a little bit of time to do something of his own take off the wall. Goes for the weird feint, launches it down. Zydra will be able to take a shot here. It's kind of a slow one that Jake is unable to do anything more with it, so Endercrafter will pass on the backboard.
Enzo goes for the 50-50 and ends up going into the corner. Endercrafter tries to send it to Enzo. Enzo pops it, dunks it down to the ground and pops up. Goes directly to Jake, though, who tries to send it to Gababy. Gababy now bringing it up the wall. Has Enzo go for the 50-50. Enzo trying to grab it off the ceiling. Has Jake disrupt that. Jake now in front of all of the members of the Vipers. Vipers rotate back just in time to find the saving opportunity. Gababy chips the ball into the corner, but Zydra ends up being the one to gain possession.
Enzo on the wall, looking for a play around 1, is able to get it, so Crane is in the way. Enzo can curve back around, take the shot, unable to do anything more with it. Endercrafter takes his own shot to the far corners, barely saved by Gababy, last minute touch altogether. Zydra now has to keep pressure, is unable to make contact. This could be a big moment. Endercrafter cleans up the slack, however, so Gababy hits it off the sidewall. Enzo will keep pressure a little bit longer. Easy respond from Jake, but Jake gets bumped out of the way. And an excellent opportunity and adaptation by the Vipers to put them in only a 1-goal deficit with 2 minutes and 10 left on the clock. Plenty of time to make something happen. And now Zydra is going to try to find that last goal to put them back in this game.
This is going to sound absolutely horrible because we're in a very similar situation to what we were 2 weeks ago. I want to sit here and be rooting for the Vipers. But Lions, I need you to maintain this lead, guys. Come on.
Zydra looking for the play around 1 is demoed by Gababy. Jake will take a play of his own, is unable to beat the defender, so Endercrafter will stay with him. Gababy hits off the sidewall. Enzo is there to respond, hits it down, maybe follows himself. Oh, weird corner bounce. We'll leave it out mid for Zydra. Takes the shot, finds Jake off foot, and it will find the back of the net. Jake over-rotating into the middle of the net. That is unfortunately not a defensive position, and ultimately, that mistake will come to haunt him.
And let the record show, I am sticking with the Lions here because I chose them 2 weeks ago, and because Joe had the audacity to stick to his guns and make me suffer because he made the right choice. I have to therefore continue to go with my guns here and just pick the Lions through and through. Vipers, you guys are still doing fantastic.
Enzo looking for a play of his own here. It's unable to do anything more. Does get a good 50 though to keep pressure on. Takes another 50. Vipers still not there to respond. Taking their time a little bit. At a 0-0 at 1 minute left in the clock. Definitely a lot of opportunities for both teams. Zydra will end up taking a dribble here opportunity. Jake will go for the 50. It'll bounce down past Enzo. Endercrafter can respond first, however, and takes the pressure to the other end of the field.
Cram, though, immediately grabs it in mid-flight. Ball popped up, crossing midfield stripe into the back through the Lions side of the field. Remember, we were tied 3-aside with 45 seconds left on the clock here. Both teams desperately clawing at the opportunity to find a goal for themselves and not force them into overtime just in game at number 2. Jake's going to pop the ball up, do some fancy... Oh, what's that? I don't know what to call that. Was that a flip reset? That wasn't a flip reset.
It was an attempt at a flip reset. I think he ended up leaving it and went for the feint instead. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because when players don't have perfect mechanics, like at the pro levels, it's hard to tell what their plan was necessarily. Well, because these players get a little bit more creative, because at the highest level of the game, everyone is able to see what's happening 3 steps before.
Yeah, game theory.
Yeah, game theory. But in that sense, it's hard to see sometimes exactly what players are doing, and I think that's why this level is really fun to watch, especially when they're working so hard to become the best players they can be at Esports Tower.
True. Now we are into overtime. The 3-3 basically might as well be 0-0 for both teams. Yes, they fought very hard for those 3 goals, but at the end of the day, scoreboard says, well, you got to do it again. Let's see how long this overtime lasts. Will it go past the 6-minute and 30-second mark? Cran's trying to make sure it doesn't happen, knowing that the Lions are already very gassed after that series against Arise Esports. We see Jake get taken out. Zydra goes to the opportunity to flick the ball down into the net. Taken away. Cran and Gababy trying to find the clear. Enzo here in the corner trying to crawl this ball away from him. I believe that's Gababy there. No, that's Cran, putting a lot of pressure on them.
Cran keeping it out. Zydra takes the pressure a little bit further. Endercraft are unable to get a touch to Gababy, will launch down the field. Blue side having to play defense. Enzo knocks it towards the sidewall. Goes for a dribble of his own. Past one. Past Jake. Off the sidewall to his teammate Zydra. Is unable to take a steady shot. Instead, it will tap out. Zydra does pass out to his teammate, though. Enzo will get the next touch on the ball. Endercrafter goes for a great read. Is unable to get it, but it will pass over to his teammate, who will find the back of the net and pull them ahead. And I think that puts the series at 1-1 now.
Yes, and now we are at a best-of-5 series, so still can go either way. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, this is going to be our last game of the night. Might as well be the longest game of the night. How do you feel about that last game, though?
I think a lot of adjustments were made that were really good. The last half of that game, I would say the last 4 minutes of that game, were very different in the first minute, obviously. And I think optimally, the plan that the Lions need to have in particular is finding a way to hold down the defense and not allow Vipers to have that kind of return, making sure that they're making Vipers work for everything. But on the flip side, the Vipers, they kind of need to make sure they're not giving up that many. They need to make sure they're not digging their grave in the first minute just so they can climb out of it every single game, right?
I mean, the Lions, it's their Achilles heel, so to speak. They are a great offensive team, but when they really get their offensive momentum going, they're very guilty of overcommitting on those opportunities.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we witnessed last week. It's not getting cleaned up just yet. They've had a minute here to talk amongst each other. I believe a coach as well. Let's see if they clean that up. Odds are probably not. So that is something that especially players like Zydra and Enzo can take advantage of. And Endercrafter is kind of like this very unique player when it comes to the Vipers skill set here, because they're not only a defensive player, but when push comes to shove, if they find themselves in that forward rotation, they will take that goal scoring opportunity happily. So they are a very well-rounded player as well. Just Zydra and Enzo tend to be the two that are a little bit more flashy, but we cannot count out Endercrafter.
Interesting. After that win, the Vipers go for a roster change, taking a time to put Toke in over Enzo. Maybe he needs a little break from it, or maybe Toke has decided it's his time to shine. We'll have to see what kind of adjustment that makes to the overall playstyle, but so far it feels like not a whole lot has changed.
I do believe we saw Toke playing for the Vipers last week instead of Endercrafter. I think it was actually Enzo, Toke, and Zydra. I could be completely wrong. Yes, Toke was in the game last week during the Grand Finals because they had to sub in. So they're not an official Vipers player, but they might become one. We'll have to wait and see as what the future holds. Toke, though, taken out like a baby who was in... Gosh, another car change. I didn't get to see the ugly car that you mentioned earlier, though. I'm sad about that. Now we've got Toke going up for the 50-50, but Jake is well above them, not getting high enough, unfortunately, and wasting a lot of boost in the process. Toke is going to be sitting here inside the net. Pushes forward, though, looks to drop the ball at the midfield, has to play it around 2, and cannot get it around Cran, and so Zydra will come in to help.
2 car changes, actually, this game. We have Cran switching to the Roadhog, the truck of the game, and we have Gababy switching to the Merc. Not that that's totally necessary to know.
The Roadhog.
You like the Roadhog? I like the Roadhog too. It's got a funny look to it.
Yeah, I like funny looking things. I pack bond with them because they're cute.
Endercrafter looks for a touch of his own. Is unable to do anything, so the side wall will lead to a goal for the Lions, pushing them ahead in this series, which is, I think, happened all 3 games now, where they found the first goal at least, probably the first 2 goals statistically at least, of every single game, but so far it hasn't meant a win every time for them yet.
Jake, that was a little bit too flashy.
Oh yeah, definitely would have been quite the highlight if he had made it, but unable to make contact in a meaningful way after the fact. So now Ender Crafter has an opportunity to push downfield here, find an opportunity for Zydra, but the baby is unable to let them do that, so the opportunity will be thwarted.
That's another thing that we discussed last week as well with regards to the Lions, is that they start getting a little overconfident. And it comes with that over-aggression that, you know, you've scored too many goals without someone nipping you in the heel just yet. And you start going for these flashy plays that don't pay off, whereas the tried and true strategies typically work out more often. So that's something to keep in mind. You're only up by 1. Let's not try to go for, like, you know, a double flip reset shot on goal, or even a flip reset shot on goal, because it's a very difficult maneuver to pull off for a lot of players.
When the opportunity presents itself and you're not giving up too much ground, absolutely, but make sure that you have teammates behind you when you have to take that kind of a risk. And I think something meaningful to think about is 3 out of the 4 goals scored for the Vipers to pull them back in that last game were done off the backboard. So it's important that they're taking their simple mechanics that we know the Lions can do and using that to clear those opportunities out much earlier.
Yeah, we definitely talk about keeping your core mechanics clean here a lot within the Esports Tower, because ultimately, as you build upon those can be your keys to success. We have Cran, though, going for the 50-50 against Toke. Toke's going to force Cran to throw the ball to the side to Gababy. Gababy has the opportunity to dunk it down, but can't get it quite fast enough. So Jake and Cran, double commit between Gababy and Cran. That's a communication breakdown there that needs to be cleaned up if they want to maintain this 1-goal lead. And unfortunately, though, we do have one of our Vipers players going up into Plymouth Spoke. I do believe that was Toke. However, the Vipers going for an offensive opportunity nonetheless. Shot on goal turned away. Secondary turned away from Zydra by Cran. Toke tries to find a third, but is going to get bullied back towards their own back third side of the field.
Endercrafter looking for a pass out to Toke, ends up just leaving it for Toke. Is demoed by an unseen force altogether. It looks like that unseen force is Jake. Gababy will look for a play off the wall, ends up leaving it for Cran. Toke keeps the pressure for a little bit longer. Cran stealing boost on the other end. Gababy is almost met by a demo by Cran, almost creates an opportunity there. Look at all these demos. I think Jake has found 3 demos now in the last minute.
My body is chrome, my blood is gasoline. That's all I can think of whenever I see someone doing that many demolitions. Jake now pushing forward. Oh no, what was that? What was that, Cran? You know better. Zydra sends it to Ender, and Ender finds the back of the net. As I said, Ender, that very much so the Enigma player, capable of playing every role, but doing it quietly. I don't need to be flashy because I know what I'm doing and I know why I'm here type player. That is what you need. That person who can slot into your playstyle perfectly, and that person right now for the Vipers is Ender Crafter.
Pass out mid to Jake. Jake will whiff. Oh, but he finds the demo anyway, rewarded even for the whiff. Cran takes the shot towards the backboard. Toke will relieve pressure for a little bit longer. Cran is in the way. Jake is also in the way, and he's beat out. And Jake finds his 5th demo onto the Viper defender and will create an opportunity for a moment, but ultimately won't find anything out of it. Jake with the pinch. Jake is all over everything right now. He has to be involved no matter what the play is, and might lead to a communication breakdown at some point. The Vipers should look to cancel out on all double commits if they have an opportunity to jump on currently.
And we are tied 1 aside. Zydra, though, trying to go for the buzzer beater. Ball hits the ground off of the deflect from the defenders there. Now, going into the kickoff here, overtime, tied 1 aside in our best-of-7 series. Both teams have 1 goal, 1 game in their pocket, bringing us to a best-of-5 series now. This could be the start of the momentum push they need to walk away with the series victory. Toke pushing forward, gets booped. And with that, they'll lose possession. Gababy sending the ball to Jake. Jake whiffs on it. Ball at the midfield. Gababy will elevate, takes another shot. Jake goes for the redirect, but Ender Crafter pinches it off.
Cran with a tap past Zydra. Zydra barely tries to keep it control. Is unable to do anything, so just hands it to Jake. Jake hands it back to Zydra, however, looks for a play and is unable to make any more contact. Toke will whiff. Zydra has to hang along the sidewall. Endercrafter in the way, but not quite enough.
Ooh,
Lions will take this game in the lowest scoring game of the series.
I mean, I still equate, I mean, we do say it in our little overview of how Rocket League works. It's being soccer. Low-scoring games are good games because that means that both teams are very evenly matched. I mean, high-scoring games, kind of the same thing, but it also means y'all were really messing up on the defense if it's a high-scoring game. That's how I treat those typically, but this is more what I wanted to see was low-scoring, very close games without a super long overtime. I mean, granted, Jake, I don't know what the heck you drank or ate before this last game started.
All of the G Fuel.
Holy cow, your heart is probably going a million miles an hour. It seemed like chronically you were just blowing through the boost. I mean, it's okay to do that. You don't need to feather it. That's fine. But my friend, you need to chill.
I mean, does he, though? Because they won, and there wasn't a lot of double commits created by Jake himself. There were a lot of tight opportunities that maybe could have led to something. But as long as that strategy is working, constantly making the Vipers check behind them, kind of that monster under their bed the entire game, then if it works, it works. As long as you're not breaking standard rotation, right?
Yeah, don't put yourself out of position to go for the demo. But if people start laying those demos and, you know, avoiding them because you get a little too predictable, stop doing it.
Definitely have to agree there. And we're seeing even more card changes. And again, I'm not going to highlight it too much from here on, but in terms of winning grand finals, you shouldn't be switching a car really in the middle of a series ever.
And as you taught me, it kind of impacts your playstyle and how you intend on playing, correct?
Yes, it doesn't too much if you're changing just from like one Octane preset to another. But if you're practicing on Octane and you switch to a completely different hitbox, i.e. to the Ronin, which I believe one of the players is on now. I'll have to see which one that is. I don't think it's the Vipers. But the Gizmo here, for example, on Kababy switched cars 3 times now, and switched between hitboxes twice of those. And here we go, the Ronin on Kran. Personally, one of my favorite cars, but it's a completely different hitbox than what he's been playing with. It could lead to kind of disastrous situations where they're not quite able to get the touch they were expecting to get because they hadn't practiced with a different field card altogether.
Gotcha. Well, Gababy is going to find goal number 1. As I mentioned earlier, it's best of 7 series right now. Lions currently have 2. Vipers have 1 game victory for themselves. Neither one's at match point, but if Lions win this, they will put themselves at match point. Gababy looking for goal number 2 here as we've crossed across that first 1-minute mark. Toke sends the volley to the midfield. Zydra elevates for the 50-50 between them, and I believe that was Kran. Neither one gets the better touch. Toke goes for the shot, turned away by Jake. Kran elevates, popping it up to try and send it to Gababy. Gababy is a little too slow, too low, and too late. Shot on goal from Zydra. Unfortunately hits the crossbar.
Kran has a little bit of time to himself. Tries to get the pass out mid, is unable to get it. A little bit of a offensive mishap, so Gababy has to pass out mid instead. Kran is nowhere near that ball, goes up anyway. Endercrafter has to be in the way. Gababy passes out mid to Kran. Kran doesn't make contact. Weird situation, a bump onto his own teammate, but Zydra will find the way out. Zydra gets demoed by Gababy. Kran. Oh, Kran gets demoed too. The war zone that is the midfield right now, turning into a bloodbath.
We've talked about it before, which is the midfield play and making sure that you have that midfield control, but I guess you don't need it if you destroy anyone that comes into the midfield to join you.
Right now, that middle third of the field kind of feels like where the Sharks have all been sleeping in another demo.
Jake!
Endercrafter will find the save, pinching it off of his sidewall, barely finding a way out. Zydra has to go for the 50-50. That ball was more than 3/4 of the way in the net, barely saved by Endercrafter, but it will all be for naught as finally Kran will find the back of the net of his own volition.
And if anyone here is wondering, yes, that is a soccer rule. Every part of that ball has to cross the net. You've probably seen screenshots of people being like, how is this not counted? If there is a single pixel of that ball that has not crossed the detector line there for that goal, it does not count. And that is how technically soccer rules work too. It's just done with the naked eye because no electronic devices are used for replay purposes in soccer.
Luckily for us in Rocket League, the entire thing is electronic, so we have more than enough proof and more than enough receipts for all these goals.
Yeah, I have the receipts.
But Toke and Endercrafter are refusing to give up on this series quite yet.
Oh, you too!
Everyone going for demos here. It feels like that's the strategy that people have zeroed in on. You can't play offense, you can't play defense if you're on gray screen, but Kran looking for a shot of his own over one. Toke will pass out to the sidewall, creating a little bit of a safer opportunity for the time being. Endercrafter looks for a bang down field of his own, follows it himself, but Kran will beat him out. Passes it to no one. Gababy has nothing to do with that ball. Zydra will carry it off the sidewall.
Ball in the corner. Zydra playing around, trying to get around Coach Jake. 2 members of the Lions were bunched up. Got a fantastic clear, but Gababy was already rotating back, anticipating that. Zydra dunks the ball down, looks to try to send it to Endercrafter. Now we've got Toke pushing forward, tries to take a shot, but a double commit between Jake and Gababy will allow the ball to be saved. Endercrafter elevating at the midfield, drops the ball down. Jake's looking to go meet Toke. Jake's going to go off the wall and grab it before Toke can meet them on the secondary flight. Zydra comes in off the back wall. Endercrafter is there, but the ball does not have enough momentum, so Gababy can push it forward. They'll collide with Toke, and the ball pops up at the mid.
Jake gets the tap off the sidewall. Almost in the way. Kran is there. Gets a good 50-50. Hits it off the sidewall. Toke in the way. Unable to do anything more with it, though. Zydra passes it upfield. Jake gets outplayed by his own teammate. A miscommunication almost leads to a 3-man own goal. Would have been a disaster to say the least. Definitely wouldn't want the receipt on that one. Cran hits it downfield. Zydra unable to respond. Jake has an opportunity here. Just leaves it instead. I don't know why. They keep faking each other out. Toke outplayed by Zydra. Zydra will just take it towards the wall instead. Slow play it to himself. Cran goes from 50-50 but misses altogether. It slides over him. An open net. Just passes it too far for Endercrafter to respond. Oh my goodness. Feels like the communication from both teams is breaking down.
We have another demolition here in the corner to try and prevent the forward push here from the Vipers. The defender has Viper has responded. Zydra goes for the challenge against Cran. Endercrafter comes in to help them out. Have to play around 2. Ball sails into the net at a weird angle. Endercrafter, I'm gonna say that was a bend it like Beckham moment, because that, I don't know how that managed to get in, but you did it.
Definitely a fantastic shot finding it from the sidewall, but they've only got 1 second, 0 seconds now to find that end play, and they cannot do it. They gave control to Gababy, and he just said, you know what, let's go next.
That's completely fair. I will say, though, things are getting sloppy for the Lions.
I think both teams looked kind of sloppy for a moment there. It kind of felt like everything was rushed. It felt like maybe the Vipers were kind of like, oh my gosh, we need to score goals. We're about to be at match point, right? Maybe a little bit panicky, hitting it past each other. And then the Lions were kind of just all over each other, or just too far away sometimes, just like very in and out, but not working together in that full circle.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. I definitely feel like communication needs to be cleaned up on a lot of fronts.
Oh, yeah.
Vipers, I feel like, are playing a little bit too hesitantly. I understand they spend a lot of time on the respawn screen. I didn't count, but I know you guys spent a lot of time there. Know that it's going to happen, anticipate it, and adjust. That's all I can suggest. You can't continue to play scared, because the Lions are just going to continue to pressure you in those situations, and start looking for when they're double committing, over committing, triple committing, or doing these awkward fake outs, and it ends up faking out their own teammate. Take advantage of those mistakes and keep going forward. Right now, though, Lions are at match point, where they were 2 weeks ago. Will the Vipers be able to get their reverse sweep? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I kind of want the Lions to continue to win, because I want this to go back and forth as far as the championship title goes. Jackie, how about you? Are you still rooting for the Vipers?
Well, if you take the Lions, then I have to take the Vipers, and I'll stay by them at this point. I have no idea what they have in store for us.
Another car swap, baby.
Yeah, only car swaps from Cran and Gababy, feeling themselves out today. It'll be kind of disappointing if they go the extra mile and go all the way to that. Oh man, like we saw the last series, it'll be disappointing for them if they end up losing in a Game 7 here. But right now, the Lions have all the pressure, and in those kinds of situations where there's a lot of panic and there's a lot of demos, even onto your own team, I think it's important to remember that the only thing that can save you is comms. You're going to be out of position, you're going to feel awkward while you're getting demoed and while you're getting bumped. It's important to keep your communication up. Even before the demo happens, you can see a lot more when you're the third man especially. You can see a lot more of what's happening. So if you see one of your teammates about to get demoed, if you see someone hunting your teammate, call that out. Let them know that they should do a side flip, or they should throw the ball away so they don't give up possession.
I 100% agree with that. I discussed it earlier, which is the idea of pulling in like actual things you would say in soccer, which is you have time, you have pressure, things like that. Just short 2-word phrases to tell your teammates, you're going to get demoed, or you're going to lose possession, or you're going to get bullied type of deal happening. Just got to work on those communications and make sure you have standard lingo between everyone, so it's short, sweet, and to the point. As we have the ball getting dunked down here in front of the Lions' goal, Vipers have definitely become very aggressive. That is some beautiful noises coming from Cran's car, by the way. Jake at the midfield is going to dunk the ball down to what it looked like was meant for Gababy, but instead Cran's going to get a touch on it. Now Zydra looking for an opportunity to find the clear. Cran maintaining possession, flicks the ball into the air. Gababy will go for the 50-50 against Ender. Zydra, though, takes a shot from midfield, saved by Jake. That was going to be so pretty, though, Zydra.
Pass off the sidewalk. Cran has control for a little while longer. Gababy going for those demos. Toke with a demo of his own will relieve pressure for a little bit longer. Zydra will play it past one, looking to play it past the second defender. Unable to get it past him, however, Gababy will hit it towards the sidewall. Cran and Gababy will double commit for a play here. Jake gets bumped, so no one gets control. And now Gababy and Cran have to play back, try to find a way out of their end yet again. Zydra will be tasked with playing this ball slow into himself.
Off the wall, gets past one of the Lions members. Gababy goes for the challenge against Ender. Crafter ball elevates at the mid. Toke pushes it forward into the corner. Can they get it around Jake? Two members of the Lions double commit on the opportunity to find the clear. Zydra now with possession here on their own backboard. Unfortunately hits the ceiling though, so that it's going to be up to Endercrafter to help them out as Baby elevates, pushing forward, takes a shot, double commit from the Vipers, not punished immediately. Zyder comes in to be the saving grace, playing off the backboard. Now Toke with the clear, takes out Baby as a return for all of the demos they've already experienced thus far.
Zydra has the ball next, tries to play it past one, unable to. Cran will hit it off the sidewall. Endercrafter all the way up, but Toke is as well. Baby hitting it off the ceiling. Lots of double commits coming out right now from both teams. Midfield seems to be the most panicked area for both teams. Toke taking it slow off the sidewall, looks for a play to his teammate, unable to get there. Endercrafter has to force offense a little longer, but loses out.
Zydra off the wall, looks to play it around Jake. Jake, though, read it well now on the wall themselves, looking to play this down to a teammate to center it up. Toke collides with them as soon as that ball hits the ground, making an awkward pinch over to the side. Zydra now popping the ball up, ball still here at the midfield. Endercrafter pushes it a little bit further forward. And Jake puts the pressure on them. Ball at the mid. Baby and Ender go for a 50-50. Toke pops the ball up, though. Gets it past Baby, and it's going to sail into the back of the net. Vipers showing signs of life right now. Down by 1. A minute 41 seconds left on the clock. Lions, if they walk away with this game victory, walk away with the championship title for our Week 1 Summer Rumble in Rocket League. Vipers did close out the spring series with that title themselves. They're hoping to maintain it. Lions are hungry for this victory.
Pass off the sidewall will go in favor of Baby, who's able to hit it past one. Cran unable to do anything more, so Toke can follow it up. He has 2 defenders behind him. He has space. He can hit it across. Endercrafter is up. He can take the shot, and we have a tied game. Ball game at 1:18. Definitely an opportunity for both teams to come away now, and this could mean either a Lions breakaway or a Vipers pushing for a Game 7.
Endercrafter plays it around Jake. Cran going in reverse, though, allows Jake to come swooping in there, resetting a bit, though, setting the ball off their own backboard. This is something that we've seen in the past. We don't really advise for it because it can be kind of risky. Baby's just chilling out here in the back. Their own goal gets taken out by Toke. Opening up the opportunity for Zyder to get a touch on it. Hits the backboard, saved by Cran, who just barely gets the corner of their hood on it. Baby now elevated challenge. Endercrafter finds the clear. It goes to Jake. Jake now taking it slow. Doesn't have a lot of pressure on them just yet. Going to bring it onto the wall. Zydra swoops in. Pinches it off of them to hit the ceiling. Ball dunks down in front of the Vipers net. Zydra will elevate. Looking for an opportunity to clear it, but they collide with Jake.
Cran, pinch off the wall, follows it himself. Unable to get a good touch. So Toke will take it away. Takes it to himself. Unable to make any more contact, but Endercrafter will save the day and hit it out mid. Cran touches it to Jake. Jake gets a good touch. Unable to do anything more with it, however, so Endercrafter takes the shot. High corner. All 3 defenders up will lead to the easiest, most open net that Zydra has ever seen. A triple commit. Of course, that would lead to a lead for the Vipers, and the Lions now are put on the back foot, putting themselves in an opportunity where they could throw away their winning opportunity here.
They've got 9 seconds to find a goal, lest they see the Vipers be ever so closer to that match point. Ooh. Again, Endercrafter, though, coming in clutch, finding another goal, putting them up by 2. No buzzer beater opportunities here this evening, everyone, as now the Vipers can sit comfortably for this last second and let the Lions struggle bus to try and find 1 extra goal for themselves. It does not matter. Baby realizes that too. So now Vipers are putting in the fight. They are almost right back to where they were last week. Reverse sweep incoming, possibly. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, there's still so much Rocket League left to play. I mean, just this next game, if the Vipers win, they're just pushing for the Game 7, right? We haven't even gotten to that Game 7 yet. So we're stuck in kind of a weird situation, but definitely the opportunity is there for Vipers. It would be really weird, but like surreal to see them go to another Game 7 battling it out over this rivalry.
I'm so thankful I did not bet any Spice Challenge on this one, because let's see, I've had to chug hot sauce. I've had to eat every wing at Buffalo Wild Wings all the way up to their Blazing. Wasn't the worst thing in the world. Neither one were, but my goodness, I'm glad I didn't put anything on the line for this one.
Oh, no.
But Lions, don't fail me now, please.
Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting series, to say the least. It feels like both teams are kind of playing their own game, but to some extent, the mistakes are getting worse and worse. And I have to wonder if it's after the series like today, if it's just exhaustion, or I mean, we didn't see a lot of exhaustion in their first Game 7 we watched them do, right? So
we did. We definitely did. Things started to get messy. There was a lot of double commits near the end of it. It seemed like the Vipers started to like recover a bit, realizing they're like, oh crud, we need to reset our mentals, but that's difficult no matter, you know, what time of day it is, no matter what game series you're in. If the exhaustion starts to hit at something, everybody, Cran again? Okay, I guess this one worked out for you.
All three of them switch cars again. Now we've got completely different hitboxes and completely different cars that no one ever plays. Baby is, okay, he is playing the game. Zydra has the next touch here. Plays it off the side, doesn't get anything more, so Endercrafter wins out. Toke is beaten. An opportunity here for Endercrafter, but pops it out. Zydra passes it off the sidewall, looks for a touch of his own, but Cran will hit it out. Baby knocks it downfield. Cran has a follow of his own, is unable to do anything more than that, so Toke banks it downfield. Looking for an opportunity of his own. Is unable to find the 50-50. Jake will beat him out, but Zydra passes it off almost into the net, and an opportunity barely saved by the Lions.
4 minutes in, Lions are the only ones to connect to the back of the net, finding one goal for themselves. Haven't found a second one though, so it's a little bit of a different tale than we got to see earlier this evening and in the other games. Typically they had 2 within the first minute when they're going completely aggressive, as we see here, but Zydra looking to close that gap quickly, finds the equalizer, putting both teams at 1 goal aside. Basically, it's tied 0-0.
Vipers, I think. Oh, yeah, no, Lions scored first again. I forgot about that. So, yeah, have the Vipers even come out of the lead in the first goal at all?
They have not, but that just goes to show how good they are at making sure that they, you know, stay level-headed.
I mean, yeah, well, that definitely is a testament to their mental for sure. But if I'm their coach or if I'm them even, I might be focusing on, okay, how do we make sure that we're the ones with early pressure more often? Right now, Toke looking for the 50-50 downfield. Endercrafter passing it to the corner. Could be an opportunity here if Jake doesn't get a great touch, but he does. He gets around 1. Not in a way that Zydra can't get the next touch, however, and it will go in. The Vipers find a lead before the second minute is up. And now the Lions are put on the back foot, trying to defend their lead in this series.
Vipers are hungry to take this to a game 7 and put themselves at match point if they win this one. We got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of Rocket League left in this game at number 6. I can definitely do quick math. Lions still need another one. Vipers are looking for the security goal to maintain a lead, but that is a lead that we've seen squelched multiple times already within this series alone, as well as last week, so they can't sit comfortably just being up by 2. They have to go up by more than that. And of course, who wouldn't want to, as we have Zydra now pushing forward with possession. They have to play it around Jake, but instead they're going to get demoed by Baby. Toke elevates, cannot get a touch on it away from Coach Jake. Now we have sorry, wow, I keep reading that because of our read. Anyway, can't get the ball away from Jake. Now the ball drops down onto Endercrafter. It's going to go up to the midfield. Endercrafter goes for the challenge, but whiffs it. Zydra now looking for an opportunity to get a touch on it. Ball sails past multiple defenders. Baby finding goal number 2 for the Lions, and we are now tied 2-2.
Once again, at that complicated 0-0 this far into the game, but the pressure is on both teams. This could mean seriously big things no matter what happens here. I mean, it either means the Lions win or it means the Vipers have another opportunity to steal the series in Game 7. And
Ender!
Vipers are looking like they're cleaning up their offense a little bit, working a little bit more together, a little bit more spread out. But
maybe it was all just bait from the very beginning, and I've been getting ployed by them since the spring series.
I mean, yeah, you never know. I could be, you know,
working with them?
Yeah, giving them a little tip here and there. No, but the Lions also are completely unwilling to give up this game. We have a 6-goal game. A very high-scoring games all around. Feels like defense has not been the name of this series both times they've played now.
I said it earlier, though, high-scoring games like this, especially when it goes back and forth with that scoreline so frequently, it kind of goes to show that you're missing your defense, and if you clean that up as well as, you know, maybe let off that offensive gas just a tiny bit and clean up the defense, it could be the key to victory in those situations where it's just trying to hammer the ball into the back of the net as many times as possible and let the enemy team do the exact same thing. You're kind of going nowhere and running in circles.
Definitely have to agree that that would be the definition of insanity eventually, but Jake looks for the pass out mid, is unable to do anything else with it, so Cran has to do something with it and is unable to find that opportunity even anyway. Jake taking it slow, hits it off the sidewall, not really where he wants it to go. He wants it on the other side of the net. Zydra is able to keep pressure a little bit longer, so Toke can take a shot, but Cran hits it out. Baby has next to follow, bumping off of Cran, bumps Cran out of the way. Oh my gosh, the miscommunication works out because the Vipers are unable to make contact with the Lions. Pull ahead with 1:15 left. We'll see if they're even able to hold it. No team has been able to hold any lead of any kind in this game so far.
Looking at the screen right now, and I see that level up body tech electrolyte fizz. I need some of that no caffeine or artificial stimulant energy right now from Vitamin Shop. Maybe I'll stop by here at some point. But we got Toge right now going up to get the challenge. Cran for possession. Baby tries to get a touch on it as well. Cran, Toge once again challenging one another. Jake is going to stop the shot on goal from, it looks like Zydra. Baby rotates back, shot up to the, oh, that almost looked like it was going to be an own goal. Y'all are very lucky. The gods of the game were in your favor on that one.
Definitely nearly a miscommunication that might have cost them the game altogether, but instead they're making the Vipers score their goals on their own without the help. And it looks like they might be able to. Oh, Cran and another defender bumping into each other, barely getting it out. Endercrafter has a shot of his own, keeps the pressure on. It's mid, here comes the shot. Toke swings it way wide. Baby is up, here's a hit it out. Pass out to Zydra. Zydra takes a slow roller towards the net. Cran has a little bit of time. But no time at all. Toke challenges, even though he would be beat if the defender knew he was there, and forces an 8-second opportunity at overtime now. Toke definitely keeping that pressure on, is keeping them in this series so far. Offense from Toke is what's kind of been rounding out the Vipers defense so far.
Definitely Toke is slotted in to fill in the role for Enzo quite nicely. Not that Enzo wasn't doing it themselves. They probably had something they had to go take care of, so that's why they, had to make a swap. We are now 8-game here in game number, well, 8-goal game here in game number 6. We are tied for a side in overtime. Golden Goal walks away with the game 6 victory. Will it be the Lions closing out the series in their favor, or the Vipers putting themselves at match point?
These teams locked so close together. I think we've only had one low-scoring game technically the entire time, and it really wasn't even that low. These teams, very reliant on their offense right now. Whichever team gets a grasp on their defense first is going to come out on top of the series, but this late into the series, you either have it figured out or you don't. Cran looking for an opportunity of his own, is unable to beat the 2 blue offenders, takes a pass across the net, unable to do anything else with this, so Cran will almost get demoed by Endercrafter as the momentum shifts.
Toke is going to elevate with possession, pushing it up over Gababy. Gababy, though, reading that well, backing up into the goal, shot on goal from Zydra, just a little bit too far to one side. Endercrafter, Zydra, unfortunately, again, the angle's just not quite right. Can't find the pinch necessary there. Toke sends the ball to the corner. Zydra pushes forward, has the opportunity to take a shot. Unfortunately, they have to rotate back, knowing Gababy is hungry to take them out in the form of a plume of smoke and a demolition. Zydra rotating back towards their goal. Jake is going to play off the wall. Zydra can't get a touch on it. Shot on goal from Cran. Pops up. Gababy looking to play it off the back wall. Toke dunking it down. Cran's waiting, though. Cran looking to center it up for a teammate.
Cran past one. Jake up for the shot, just hits it towards the sidewall. Zydra can respond. Unable to do anything with it, though. Toke has a little bit of time, just bangs it to Jake, however. Jake misses. This is going to be huge. Cran takes the shot at the net. Unable to do anything more. Zydra taps it. Pass off the sidewall. One defender in the way. Zydra has a little bit of time. Beats Jake out, able to take it towards the wall, but is beaten by Gababy. Takes his time. Is beaten by Zydra, who stays on the ball no matter what. Cran banks it downfield. Nothing happening of the sort yet as Jake has to pass it against the wall. Takes the shot, and the Lions pull ahead in a 2-minute overtime, and I believe that will give them the series.
Yes, the Lions walk away not with an easy victory. The Vipers getting two games and almost putting themselves at match point. But nonetheless, Lions, you guys have reclaimed the title of our Esports Tower Rumble champions for this week. We'll have to see if you can maintain that one, as the Vipers did have it 2 weeks ago. And if you are currently watching and want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. All right, as casters, we have, one more job to do. I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
It's the ICCU player of the game. I see you've been writing down quite a few names. I'm going to ask you to narrow it down to 3. We might have some of the same answers here. I'm not changing any of mine, by the way, if we have duplicates. Sorry.
I think, honestly, Avdiel was up there, but I think the 3 I have to go with, I can't not mention Avdiel, right? An excellent display of defensive pressure he had. But I think the 3 I'm going to have to go with are Gababy, Cran, and maybe Zydra, honestly.
All right, well, I don't have a maybe on Zydra. Zydra is up there for me with how many clutch goals they got, especially in overtimes or to send us into overtime. So Zydra, you are up there. Avdil, I'm also going to give you a shout out because you did a fantastic job, especially someone who's not within Esports Tower themselves and coming in from an outside team. You guys as a whole, all of Arise Esports did fantastic today, but right now, Avdil, you are getting my second vote, and my third is going to go to, of course, Gababy. But Gababy, no offense, you're the third on my list because, my friend, you've gotten the ICC player of the match so many gosh darn times. It is time to spread the love out a little bit. But at the end of the day, we only give suggestions from the desk. It is ultimately up to production to see who the ICC player of the game is. And with my luck, neither of the three people I mentioned will get it.
And it is Enzo.
Oh, nicely done, Enzo. You were one of the 8 people I had written down, but I had to narrow it down near the end, and unfortunately for me, it was nothing against you. It's just I had to start looking at people that were making flashy plays in the last series. Congratulations, Enzo. You are the ICCU player of the game. The ICCU player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Enzo is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And as we prepare to close out this match, do you have any big takeaways?
I think the biggest takeaway I'd say is the team with the best defense is still winning the most games right now. It's not necessarily, it's by comparison. The defense is not good those last couple of games, but at the end of the day, the Lions were holding the line a little bit better in those last couple of games than the Vipers, and that just ended up going in their favor.
All right. I mean, notice how I was doubtful of that statement, even though the team I was rooting for won. Where I'm only semi-biased in these situations. At the end of the day, I just want some good, clean Rocket League. But with that being said, that is our last game for this evening as far as Rocket League goes. And I want to give a quick congratulations to all of the teams for an exciting start to the Summer Rocket League Rumble season. This time, the Lions hold on to finishing off the Vipers and claim the first championship of the summer season. So congratulations to you guys, but don't take it for granted. The Vipers are probably going to come back swinging, as Taki would put it, next week. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to catch the next chapter of the Summer Rocket League Rumble. We'll close out today with the top 5 plays of the game presented to you today by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Have a great night. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you later. Avdil at the midfield to take this ball away. Gababy rotates, comes back around, swooping in to send the ball right back across the midfield. Dot returns the favor yet again. Avdil pushing Dot far away, grabs the ball, pops it up over one, plays it to the back wall. Has Jay Keys coming in for the follow-up. Perfectly angled, perfectly timed. That is goal number 1 in. My body is chrome, my blood is gasoline. That's all I can think of whenever I see someone doing that many demolitions. Jake now pushing forward. Oh no, what was that? What was that, Cran? You know better! Zydra sets it to Ender, and Ender finds the back of the net. As I said, Ender,
Sidewall, most for a dribble of his own, pass one, pass Jake, off the sidewall to his teammate Zydra, is unable to take a steady shot. Instead, it will pass out. Zydra does pass out to his teammate though. Enzo will get the next touch on the ball. Endercrafter goes for a great read, is unable to get it, but it will pass over to his teammate who will find the back of the net. Right now, that middle third of the field kind of feels like where the Sharks have all been sleeping in another demo. Endercrafter will find the same pinching it off of his sidewall, barely finding a way out. Zydra has to go for the 50-50. That ball was more than 3/4 of the way in the net, barely saved by Endercrafter, but it will all be for naught as finally Cran will find.
Looks for a teammate, tries to flick it forward, but Jay Keys gets a touch on a Dot, tries to dunk it down to Dot too. Fortunately sends it down to Avdil. Avdil in the corner has ball taken away from them by Dot. Jay Keys dunks the ball down to Benji, who's going to elevate 50-50 challenge, whipped by 2 Lions members in Arise Esports. Will find goal number